What is going on, everybody? It is episode 420 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brad. Bro. Dude. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, but joining us with me, my co-host, would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. Happy 420th episode. It's Mary. You know that.
And the dude you just heard, dude.
What's up, everybody? My name's Phil. I'm the lead singer of All That Remains, anti-communist, counter-revolutionary.
Super appropriate that we're going to be talking about a Seth Rogen movie today.
Yes, we are going to talk about that.
Who could have foreseen that?
I also want, before we get started, guys, more than anything, I have to talk about the censorship going on at YouTube
crazy
today. I tried to make a poll for each of you to vote on because you guys like to have a poll in which you can answer a question. And what I tried to ask was, who is the greatest 420 icon in honor of our 420th episode? Well, YouTube was not having it. I kept submitting it in various forms. I put 420, I typed 420, I put the numbers for 420, I put 4-20, I put 42-0. Everything.
We tried everything. What else did you put?
We tried weed, but W-E''D, like weed do that. Nothing. No cigar. No cigar. So finally, I had to just put pick one and assumed you guys knew what I was talking about. Snoop Dogg, Cheech and Chong, Seth Rogen, Bob Marley.
Absolutely, everyone knew.
Everyone knew, right? Yeah, they did. So we're going to talk about that for a couple of minutes, I think, because I'm kind of questioning what my problem with it is that you know that the dude who ended up writing the algorithm in Silicon Valley that censored this, he's probably microdosing LSD or MDMA right now.
Like, weed is legal in half the country now at this point, I think, isn't it?
Just
Something
not
I remember like Jeffree Star would always complain that he couldn't smoke weed on YouTube. So I think it's just against the TOS for some reason.
Jeffree Star complains about not being able to smoke weed on YouTube. I am not. R. Fontane's in the chat said that I'm high, and I am not.
He's not. Nobody here is high right now. So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. There is a ridiculous non-troversy going on that's causing some problems for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem marketing department right now, where a fake, not really actually gay controversy between the characters. We'll get into it. Splinter is supposedly gay, but he's actually not gay.
There was never any at all.
Yeah.
Like...
They're saying that Scumbug was a dude, but Scumbug is a girl. We're going to get into it. Somebody in the marketing department's getting fired. I have no doubt whatsoever. Because basically they're saying that the character of Scumbug was a guy rather than a girl, and apparently they get together at the end of the movie. Why that had to happen,
They're
I have
like
no idea.
Waterboarding every intern at Paramount now, trying to figure out who was responsible for the incorrect promo image.
Of course.
Exactly.
Cody Boudreaux sent a $20.
Oh, go for it. Mary, you want to read that?
I don't know if I do want to read it. Let's see. Yeah, I'd rather not. Phil, do you want to read it?
My sister and I love old Seth Rogen movies. They made for awesome they made for awesome date night movies for us. Good job, man.
What in the Sweet Home Alabama is this?
I mean, at least he's scoring.
So we're going to talk about this controversy. It speaks to the fact that really every decision that you make as a Hollywood studio needs to be very, very carefully done, right? Because the smallest thing can cause a problem. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about Lizzo. We have a follow-up to the Lizzo story, do we not, Mary?
So excited.
She's still fat shaming?
Yes.
Okay, look, the fat shaming thing was the only part of it that's wholly untrue. Because basically one of her dancers, she called a meeting with one of her dancers and the choreographer, and they were like, hey, your performance hasn't been up to par lately. What's going on? And then she said in the lawsuit, oh, I felt like they were implying it was because of my weight gain. So I felt compelled to talk about it because I felt judged. Yeah. And imagine like an actual court of law reviewing this as evidence.
Yeah, that would have been the only good thing for the.
It's girl drama, but nobody mentioned her weight, so she didn't actually fat shame anybody.
Boo.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a TikToker who was offered $70,000 a week to have her likeness scanned so that she could make so they could make a dirty AI bot for her.
Who's it? Wait.
Simply Nessa is her name.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that.
She said no.
Yeah, she said no. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Mia Khalifa, ex-porn star and twice divorced Mia Khalifa, has some marriage tips for you.
Good for you, Mia Khalifa. So, good for you.
You think so?
Dying to know.
No, I don't think so at all. I think it's hilarious. I'm making jokes.
You tweeted about it earlier.
I did. I was like, Mia Khalifa has takes on marriage. And I know. Mia Khalifa has a negative opinion on marriage, and I'm shocked.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Who'd have thunked it?
Not I. We got a big one there from Francisco Sanchez Jr.
He said, hello, let's have a good show.
Let's do it.
That's like a command.
Yeah. Well, with that super chat, I'm gonna hit the like button on that one. I always forget that I can hit the like button now on super chats, which is a cool thing. So we got a bunch of other stuff to talk about. We're gonna have fun here today, guys. So if you are ready, Mary, we will just get right into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Phil, are you?
Yeah.
He's ready. All right. Remember, guys, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. All super chats, $20 and over, like the one from Cody Bedreau and from Francisco Sanchez Jr. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read them right then and there. We will then get back on discussion. Remember, all of that goes towards crisis parties, which we are very close to now. And we love crisis parties here. So let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, Mark Zuckerberg is proving himself to be more of a human each and every day because his wife is mad at him. Is there anything more human than your wife being mad at you if you're a dude, right?
I don't think that you have any right to be mad at your billionaire husband.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying it's normal for a woman to be mad at a guy if they're married.
Let's not normalize henpecking.
His wife is ticked off over him putting an octagon in his backyard because the dude, he's
also,
like,
are we supposed to believe that she was doing her own lawn care and they don't have a service for that?
I know, right?
Come on.
But I guess I just saw another article today. It says he's in excess of 4,000 calories a day over. He's training super hard. He's on a McDonald's diet, they said.
I want him to fight Logan or Jake Paul.
Which one? Jake, I suppose.
I guess it would be Jake, yeah.
Jake, yeah.
That would be hilarious.
But can anybody tell me, is this, Phil, can you see the picture here? iPhone
she didn't
users,
take his last name.
Is this an app that
they're on
talking?
WhatsApp because it's owned by Meta.
Okay, so it's a thing
It's
where
really a hidden ad for WhatsApp.
You'd have a username there then, right? I laughed at the idea. I thought it was a text message at first, and I laughed at the idea that Mark Zuckerberg puts his wife's name in his phone as just her first and last name.
No, you don't
because he doesn't human well, and he doesn't have a pet name.
You put a contact in WhatsApp the same way you would on your phone, so he actually did do that.
Not even the married name. It's Priscilla Chan.
She didn't take his name.
You're worth $1 billion and they won't even take your name. What is this world coming to? Mia Khalifa must be right about all of this.
She's his ride or die.
Yeah, well, they got kids. He went to a Taylor Swift concert the other day.
I saw a tweet that was listing all of the celebrity and billionaire divorces that have happened this year, and they're like, "What's going on?" As if divorce being prevalent in Hollywood
is new.
And billionaires is a new thing that just popped up.
I think my favorite was right when Bill Gates' divorce got announced, somebody posted this old picture where it's two flat screen TVs and it's they've got their computer HDMI hooked up to it and it's only showing on one and not the other. It says she already took half.
I didn't realize that Justin Trudeau got a divorce.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
not
separated.
Divorce,
He's dating someone else. I mean,
who is he?
Who is he?
I don't know.
No.
Who's the lucky guy?
Right. Did you see the really staged photo of him in the subway? They're like, look at Justin Trudeau. He's just taking the train to work like a normal
so
person.
Humble.
He's the worst. Out of all of the politicians that I can think of that are regularly in front of my face on TV or on the internet, he's right up there. I mean, yeah.
$20 one there from Brandon M.
Whoa, man, great episode. My favorite part was when, the thing. What were we talking about? Twisted Metal is gnarly.
Yes, Twisted Metal is gnarly. Everyone should go watch Twisted Metal. It's finally a reason for everyone to do what I've been saying for ages, which is to go and get Peacock.
That was the perfect review of today's episode.
Yes.
420.
Whoa, is Trudeau dating Meghan Markle?
No.
Is this a fact?
No.
Could they stand each other?
Justin Castro.
Also,
Could the
someone
world
said
stand
that
them?
Mark Zuckerberg's wife is his beard.
Think so?
No one thinks Mark Zuckerberg is gay.
No. I mean, I don't think he's a human being,
that.
so it doesn't really matter.
That's a very...
Is she a human beard?
It's a very broad term.
Wait,
no
what?
one?
She's a human beard. She's just there to make it seem like he has any type of relationship at all.
That he's, well...
That he can, in fact,
that he can have a
intercourse with human beings.
Relationship with a
Are
human
we sure
at all.
she's not a spy from the CCP?
She could be.
Of course not.
Bad Kitty Mama says Peacock sucks. Wrong. Nay.
I think Hulu
Incorrect.
is probably the best.
Hulu's by far the best, except for yesterday. I just had this. I made a big tweet where I said my continued watching list, my highly curated and very specific continued watching list on Hulu. You know, all the things you watch because I'm very ADHD. I go from show to show to show to show. It got deleted.
Why?
No, I couldn't figure out why, and I tweeted I basically said, like, I was really upset for about 3 seconds, and then it kind of just dawned on me just what a first world problem such a thing is.
Well, I'm having a first world problem right now, and it's that it's freezing in here.
Fine. There you go.
I'm longhousing the podcast.
Princess.
What is longhousing? Like I've heard this phrase and I've yet to go to Urban
not
Dictionary.
the person who would be able to explain
Andrea
it to
Mew
you.
would be the one to explain
Yeah,
to you
she would know.
longhousing.
All right, I'm going to Urban Dictionary currently.
It's
But no.
it's like not. It's like a term for like a gynocracy. Have you heard that term before?
It's a gynocentric world, and we're all just living in
I
it.
sure have heard that.
Remember
term
when air
before.
conditioning in the office was like the biggest feminist issue?
Yep, I do. I remember
So
people
little
talking
has
about
changed. I actually side with them on that one.
that. You're all wrong. You ladies are wrong. But no, so Hulu deleted my continued watching list, and then I tweeted about it, and then Hulu responded to my tweet and said, like, we've seen it, we're looking into it. So I haven't gotten a chance to check back yet today to see if my list is back. But yeah, it makes me very sad. But I have to disagree. I do really, really quite enjoy Peacock as a streaming service. There's a lot of good stuff on there. If for no other reason than to watch the show Life. It's also got Psych.
It's a Bronze Age pervert term.
He made that up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or at least it's attributed to him on
It's
on
about
Urban
like
Dictionary.
wigwams.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that we know that Zuckerberg isn't human and what longhousing is, let's move on, shall we? I wanted to show everyone this picture. I showed this to Mary not that long ago. This is a picture of Ariana Grande's boyfriend, Ethan Slater, and her brother.
Who are weirdly doppelgangers?
Slightly
If her brother dyed his hair ginger, I wouldn't see a difference. If Ethan Slater got a spray tan and bleached his hair, it would be the same guy.
Yeah.
But it's weird because Ariana looks like her brother, but she doesn't look like Ethan Slater.
She doesn't look that much like her brother.
Well, now that she's gotten a bunch of like
Work
plastic
done.
surgery and work done, she doesn't look
Has
as
she gotten a lot of
much-
work done?
She used to look very distinctly Italian, and now she just kind of looks ambiguous. She was blackfishing for a long time, then she stopped doing that, and then she started
Blackfishing, where
Asian fishing.
She's racially ambiguous, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She's hot.
Yeah, she is.
She's a very hot
But she
girl.
used to look a lot more like her brother before all the work.
That
That is weird and Freudian, though.
All right. So did you know that AMC had their best week of all time thanks to Barbenheimer? I suppose that makes sense. 2 really, really big movies. Like it takes more than even just one really, really big movie to give you the biggest week you've ever had.
It's their highest revenue week since opening in 1920.
Which you could discount on account of inflation, but it's actually the most tickets sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most tickets. It says if you don't want to do the math,
Tom Cruise is still fuming.
seething. Just see, he's you know what he's doing right now? He's sending all those Scientology spies, those stalkers that Scientology always hires. I'm disavow. Do not come after me. There was an article today about Leia Remini talking about how she was like basically held hostage for 4 months after his marriage to Katie Holmes. We don't cover
Wait, what do
Scientology.
you-
Where Katie Holmes totally just like disappeared, didn't she?
She doesn't really. I don't know if she still acts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, early too. Good job, guys.
Thank you guys. She. You know what it was? She.
I would hide from Tom Cruise too.
She took.
What do you mean that she said she was held hostage?
I didn't read the articles. I'm not gonna. We'll talk. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's like all the Scientology stuff always feels like a great way to get black bagged. So I don't really want that happening. And I don't know if Tom Cruise is at fault, or maybe I'm just standing for Tom Cruise right now and I'm censoring.
We've always said you're a closet Scientologist.
Yeah.
So.
But like with Katie Holmes, you know what it is? She turned down the chance to come back as Rachel in The Dark Knight, and she never recovered. Because she was Rachel in Batman Begins, and then she's like, I don't want to do the sequel, and The Dark Knight became like the biggest thing in Hollywood for a long time.
God, I wish that she played the Dark. She came back for the sequel.
You don't like Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Not even a little bit.
Cabbage Patch Kid?
Not compared to Katie Holmes. No.
Yeah. All right.
She performed the role fine. Her performance in the movie was good, but I'm much more fond of the.
I love at the end of The Dark Knight where she basically like she's just like cock blocks him. She's just like leads him on. She's like I really like you, but you're doing this now, so I got to go by.
Yep.
Like what a dick.
It doesn't make sense that she's related to Jake Gyllenhaal. They look nothing alike.
I don't.
They are
think
related.
That matters.
She's the older sister.
Yeah. Yep.
They look nothing alike. Weird.
Yep. All right, let's watch this Daryl Hannah ad. So it says Daryl Hannah announced a new eco-warrior plastic-free Barbie. Turns out it was an elaborate hoax by climate change activists.
They were gonna make this out of like seaweed or something.
I at least they put some effort into the video. I'll give them that. So let's watch this. I wonder if we'll get copyrighted for this.
I hope not.
Let's see. Here we go.
Once, when I was snorkeling in one of the most remote, pristine, and protected parts of the Pacific, I found this ancient barnacle and seaweed-crusted Barbie doll. Barbie and I are about the same age, except she will never die.
There's a $20 super chat there from Spencer Jones.
He said, "I'm a Scientologist. Careful, LOL."
We don't want.
Is that a joke, or are you serious?
We don't want anybody coming for us. Here we go.
During my lifetime, Barbie and over 1 billion of her friends have been abandoned in our landfills and waterways where they will live on forever. Unfortunately, we've all learned that plastic waste is everywhere. It's in the water we drink, the food we eat, even inside our bodies. And recycling won't fix it. I am proud to announce that by 2030, all Mattel toys will be plastic-free, starting with the iconic Barbie doll. In just a few years, Barbie will be made of totally compostable materials. Mattel will also support a federal ban on all plastics in kids' toys and on single-use plastics. To mark this incredible shift, Mattel is releasing a new line of limited edition eco-warrior Barbies, commemorating the real-world heroes of the environmental struggle, with one even named after me. I've been involved in efforts to protect our natural world and her inhabitants for decades.
Stop! But why? Because it's bad for the trees. Just think of all the money we'll make. You're going downtown. Fine, take me away. I'm just fighting for the environment. High five!
I'm so excited about this new Barbie and this new, cleaner future for us all. Barbie can now safely return to the earth and the sea, just like all of us someday.
Look, it's funny, but it's not that far off of how they actually talk with these the way corporations
so she
talk
was
about
in on that joke?
Yes, it was a joke.
This is like when Heidi Montag promoted single-use jeans.
Yep. That was great. That was hilarious. Like, I mean, I appreciate it when they put some effort into it. But yeah, so it's very clearly not real, but you know, it's not that far off what we actually see from these corporate boards as far as their marketing. I get a lot of targeted ads for clothing on Instagram, right? And I swear there's this one, it's telling you all the things that are great about the product. It's like, ooh, this type of zipper. Ooh, this type of fabric. And then it says, and we give 5% to charities or 15% to charities. I'm like, that's literally I'm not making a decision on clothing based on where you give money to charity. I'm really not. But it's encouraged by them to do that because that's how they get their funding. Yeah. So
got to get that ESG score up for Mattel.
Yep. So we'll have to see. Maybe they'll make a series of these. Maybe we'll get a Bratz doll, Eco Warrior Bratz doll.
I mean, this would kind of ruin collecting Barbies, right?
Yeah, it would.
If it were real.
Yep. All right. Taylor Swift is in the news because first things first, she gave away over $55 million in bonuses to everyone that works for her.
Yeah.
I'm suspiciously of the opinion that maybe she really wants to stay below that $1 billion line for tax purposes.
Possible.
But,
it says $5 million was allocated toward her truckers, who received $100K bonuses each, and $45 million divvied up among sound techs, caterers, stagehands, backing musicians, dancers, etc.
Yeah.
And she's still getting hate because she's not postponing her LA concerts in order to have solidarity, union strong, with striking hotel workers.
Yeah, it says Lieutenant Governor, I don't know how to pronounce this, Eleni Kanalakis, does anybody know how to pronounce that? And dozens of state and local politicians signed an open letter telling Swift that her tour makes the region's hotels money, with some properties doubling and tripling what they charge because you are coming.
She's stimulating the economy. What's wrong with that?
Meanwhile, the letter said many housekeepers and other hotel workers can't afford to live close to their jobs, and some sleep in their cars and risk losing their homes. Hotel workers are fighting for their lives. They are fighting for a living wage. They have gone on strike. Now they are asking for your support. So don't stimulate the economy in solidarity with the people on the strike. And I just saw
What about solidarity with all of her fans who already got their tickets and paid for hotels to stay in LA just to see her?
Yeah. I saw a story today where like this guy and his wife bought tickets, spent a bunch of money on tickets, showed up on Saturday, and it was the concert was the day before. And
how do you fuck that up?
Yeah, and so then what happened is that the worst part about that story is like then like he had to like, because do we really buy that this guy is the one that wants to go to Taylor Swift? No, he's making his wife happy, right? So he has to go and spend like $2,600 to buy more tickets for her that are like 2 hours away or like a flight's worth away, and so he doesn't get to go because he has to work. So she's going with a friend, but he's spending the money to send her to see Taylor Swift.
You said it's a husband?
The husband, yeah.
They're married.
Yeah.
They're married.
But I'm saying, like, what if he loves Taylor Swift too? Maybe he loves Taylor Swift too.
I don't think
he's the one who screwed up, huh?
Right?
That's right. His wife shouldn't have to pay because he blew it.
And he said, I checked the ticket dates 3 times. I'm like, clearly you didn't.
We should have checked it 4th, huh, dummy?
Yeah, not cool, dude. So
numbers don't change, homeboy.
Wife has to go, like it's like 3 hours away, so she's got to fly to go see the show.
Send your wife, eat the money, you'll be happy.
And you'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's what he did.
Yeah, it's not anyone else's fault but your own. Sorry, it sucks, but send your wife. Don't ruin her weekend.
Does anybody actually believe that Taylor Swift would put these concerts on hold for...
I pray to God she wouldn't. It is the most ridiculous. Like the amount of work that goes into... Like I know how much work goes into like putting on one All That Remains show at a club or a theater, right? 1,000, 2,000 people. Yeah. I know how much effort that takes to do. Taylor Swift is selling out an arena. There's probably 20,000 people. Well, no, not 20,000, but there's probably there's a couple thousand people that are just working.
Oh yeah,
at least a couple thousand.
Yeah, more than that. I think. Yeah, they employ lots and lots and lots of people.
Just at the stadium. So
not to mention the people that travel with her.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous to think that she should stop because of narcissistic writers in LA, because I think that I said this on the thing or on Pop Culture Crisis, but I'm not sure. But like my take on the whole thing is like, look, all these people that are out there picketing, the vast majority of them are people that are getting paid under what they want to get paid, but still they're getting paid to shoot their shot. Yeah. Right. The goal is to be a big time Hollywood writer, producer, making big money, but you're still getting paid while you're out there writing, doing the job that hopefully you will be able to continue to do to make that big time. Nobody was giving me a dime for me. Like there was no guild that was helping me out when we
in any type of unions?
Oh God, no. I got in the van and I ate Taco Bell for 5 years.
Are there any musicians guilds?
I think there is. I think there is a musicians guild, but the thing is like.
And if they decided to strike against, I guess, the record labels, would any of these artists cancel their tours?
I sure as hell wouldn't. I don't know what other bands would do, but I don't think so because bands live on tour. Yeah. Like they make their money off of touring. So this is.
Well, even Taylor Swift doesn't make her money off of streams.
No. Well, I mean, Taylor makes her money off of everything she does. She makes so much money,
merch and touring, basically.
No, she makes so much money that because she like the all the re-recorded stuff, all the Taylor's version stuff, she owns all that, and all of her fans listen to that intentionally to not listen to the stuff that was released on the label because they want to make sure that Taylor's getting the money.
I intentionally stream the old versions because I like them better.
Yeah,
but the point is, like the people that are striking are getting the opportunity to make it to the big time, and they've got a union that backs them, and they're getting paid. I know that it's expensive in California, but you're already getting paid. You got a union that backs you. Like, I don't feel bad for you because you're not making as much money as you want.
Well, this isn't even about the writers. This is literally about a hotel workers union that's on strike right now.
Oh, that's a totally different strike.
Yeah,
My bad.
This is about
hotel workers are fighting for their lives, fighting for a living wage. They have gone on strike. Now they're asking for your support.
I can't listen to anything that comes out of the left. Fighting for their lives, fighting for a living wage. It's all the same garbage. You're always almost dead. Shut the F up. I don't care.
Go off, King.
Go off.
It's always the same stuff. They're fighting for their lives. People are literally dying. It's all the same garbage. It's all hyperbolic bullshit. It's all garbage. I don't care.
They're saying in the chat, Mary's team Scooter Braun.
Yeah, Scooter Braun actually paid me off to say that on air.
You know what he is? He's the unexecutive. Because he doesn't wear a suit. He goes out in a t-shirt. He doesn't look like $1 billion.
He's cool and laid back, and he microdoses mushrooms.
but really, he's stealing all your money, and he's selling your masters. And my goodness, he founded Justin Bieber. If that's not enough of a reason to cancel him, then what is, right? A $20 one there from Jay Redmond.
Speaking of bands, thanks, Phil. All That Remains got me through a particularly nasty weight vest workout today. Much appreciated.
Sick. That's what I like to hear. Put those things up and put them down.
That's awesome. Like,
cheers.
That's probably like that might be for you like the same thing like when people say like, oh, I listen to this podcast at work because that's such a big thing to me because it was always such a big thing to me to listen to podcasts at work. I'm like, oh wow, that's really
Have
really
people
cool.
said to you like All That Remains saved my life or you saved my life?
More times than
And
I
how
count.
do you like know how to react to that? Like
usually it's a thank you and a hug. That's kind of I'd like that kind of stuff is really
I've seen other musicians say like, no, I didn't. You saved your own life. Don't say that.
No. You don't do that kind. I don't never argue with someone that's coming up.
It's like
to tell them how they experienced what I created. Like I would never do that.
It's like in Wayne's World when he says, I love you, man. He says, I love you. And he says, I love you, man. And then finally Garth gets him to stop by saying thank you.
Yeah.
He says, thank you. And then the guy stops. Like the whole movie, they're trying to get this guy to stop saying that. And then, all right, guys. So, it's a striking union for like hotel workers, but she's not going to put off concerts that are netting her millions upon millions of dollars. She just added more shows.
Yeah.
I was
really?
like, yes.
I thought that she was finishing off the domestic tour in LA and then going abroad.
I just saw a thing that said she's adding more shows. You know what it is? She can't sit still. She can't have downtime. She's a workaholic and it's working for her. I think that's why people like a lot of people in the chat were saying she's in the cult. She's woke. She's part of the cult. But people on the right appreciate work ethic, strong work ethic, I think. And they see that this person who is consistently putting out material, very, very business savvy. Sure, she's a nutso leftist probably, but she's a hard-working nutso leftist. And that's sometimes that's enough.
I'm this could be just my personal, my bias talking, but I'm not even convinced that she's super leftist. I think she's probably bought into the general feminist stuff that kind of goes around because that's most young women kind of get that bug in them or whatever. But I don't particularly think that she's, or I don't think that she's particularly politically savvy, and I don't think that she's a philosophical leftist. I think that she's
what
just
they call like a liberal feminist or a white feminist.
I would call her a shit lib, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I love her to death, but she's still probably just a bad liberal.
All right, guys. What would you like to see first, cute or cringe of the day?
Cringe.
You want to see cringe of the day?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Mary submitted this one to me. I think I did.
Oh, you've submitted.
Yeah.
I usually.
Oh no, it's saying. Is it gone?
I think that X had
Care about a woman.
had a bit of a malfunction today.
I swear this has never happened to me before. Here we go.
Why do you think men care about a woman's body count?
Do you? People actually care about that shit?
Men in general.
If a man is fucking asking my body count, he can get fucked. Who gives a fuck? Oh my god, that's so stupid. People actually ask that shit?
Yes.
Okay, well then you're talking to the wrong man. If a man is ever asking you about your body count, you're talking to the wrong man, and he can get fucked. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Get fucked.
So, can I ask you this then?
Yeah, sure.
So, what do you think about the analogy? If one key can open many locks, it's known as a master key, as opposed to if you have a lock that can be opened by any key, it's a shitty lock.
I think that if a woman is an analogy to you, then you're not fucking ready to be talking to a woman, and you should probably get fucked. So, if a woman is the key to you, talk to your mom, talk to your sister, talk to your cousin.
She definitely got dressed in the dark
that day. Get a real fucking life.
She is
and get
angry.
Fucked. Thank you.
She loves to say get
and
fucked.
And a woman is not a key. Thank you.
Their locks is
that wasn't the analogy, girl.
I love it. And a woman's not a key. No.
I mean, she was probably drunk.
I hope so.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys that do these street interviews at night outside of bars.
It's always at night
to get the drunk girls.
I love the dude who does polite catcalling. Have you seen that? The guy with the mic. He's like, you look like you. He's like, you look like you have Apple Care for your phone. He just says very nice things to people. And then,
there was a dude that I just saw an Instagram post from a dude that he was British and he was wearing a purple jacket.
Yeah.
And he was giving like the most polite compliments to people, just completely and totally, wholesome. He's like said something a bit. You have like to a bald dude. He's like, you have a magnificent head. It's perfectly shaped. Like that kind of stuff.
That's great. I like that.
It was hilarious.
So like, people say that men always remember that one compliment they got, and I wanted to know what it is for you guys.
I'm not like that's different for me. Like the point of that story is men don't get compliments enough, and I get compliments a lot because of my job. So for me, it's like, it's not like compliments don't have the same effect.
What if it's not related to your work?
I think that the point is the reason dudes get affected is because they get no compliments. So like if you're a dude, it's totally normal for a dude to go a year or 2 years without getting an actual genuine compliment from someone. Because of my job, don't get that. So like there's constantly people sending messages and stuff, and I'm not trying to like act like I'm like some kind of big dick.
But it's the
like,
same for me because of skating. Like I was always more privy to actually receiving people saying nice things about me because of what I'd done within the industry. And even here, like just this job means that people have nice things to say fairly regularly. You'd have to ask like
if it's in person with someone who doesn't know about your work. Do you remember
then
it?
It's nice.
More?
It's nice, yeah. But again, I think that the thing is for dudes that it matters to, it's because like when you say none, it's none.
Do men value compliments from women or other men more?
Both, but it depends on what they are. If a dude gives me a dudely compliment, like well, if it's like a dude that's like. That's dude shit.
It's the meme about the guy at the gym where he's like,
Oh, we forgot to read this one.
Sorry.
Brett Mumble Rap. This is from Daniel J. Cork. Brett Mumble Rap thoughts. Mary DC Talk thoughts. Phil, who is the best guitarist? This is a lot. Maybe we should start with the first.
I have no strong opinions on mumble rap. I aged out and it doesn't interest me.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on mumble rap either.
Phil, who's the best guitarist?
Jason Richardson, the guitar player for all of
He asked you Pantera or Anthrax.
Pantera.
And enjoy the rest of your day, fellow crisis actors. And I don't know what you're asking. What do you mean by DC Talk?
Like Washington DC?
The rapper DC Talk.
I have no thoughts on that.
Okay.
Sorry. Not Washington DC.
I could be wrong though.
But back to your point, I was just reading a thing today. It was I've mentioned the YouTuber and the Instagram lady, the Dadvocate several times. Yeah. She had a thing today. It was literally called. It was about the compliment gap between men and women in marriages, like husbands and wives. And basically, it was like 50% of women said that they get complimented regularly from their husband, and then a smaller percentage said say sometimes, and then a smaller percentage says not really at all. And then the guys, it was literally the inverse, where the guy doesn't get a lot of compliments from her, but so that, they were. And I think, but it's like to men, you have to harden yourself to a world where you don't live with the expectation that you're going to get this. In fact, it's one of the reasons why when people say nice things to me, I get uncomfortable because I'm like, look. I don't want to need that. I don't need that. It's very nice of you to say, but it's a weird thing. Like I'm really bad at it.
Just say thank you.
It's like I gotta pull the Garth. I gotta pull the Garth out. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you is always the right thing to say when someone is giving you compliments.
So. When it's between spouses, that's definitely sad.
That's a problem.
The People's Weenus said, Phil.
The People's Weenus.
Thank you.
It's party time.
Thank you.
The Weebles. Anyway, Phil, have you seen the Coen brothers movie Hail Caesar? They clown on Hollywood communists in the 1950s, one of which is Herbert Marcuse.
Ooh.
I think it's worth a watch.
I'm aware of that movie, but I had never seen it. Now I think I'll go see it. If they're gonna dunk on Marcuse, I'll go see that.
Yeah, there you go.
Or I'll whatever, stream it or whatever.
So the point of the matter is that they always do these interviews at night while they're on streets. The women are drunk, the people are drunk, and this lady says "f off" a little bit too much. Like I think
she was just a little bit too passionate about it.
All right.
Yeah. If it was a little like,
if she just said, "Oh, that's stupid," and then moved on with her life, then nobody would be cringing. But
I do like how the guy, like I like this guy's face. He's very clearly like she's talking herself into a corner, and he's here for it. He's like,
it's exactly the content that he wants.
Like he knows not to interrupt. Like never interrupt an enemy when they're making a mistake. He's all right. Let's go cute of the day. We've got a couple here. I got to refresh.
Elon needs to fix X. Yep. Like I don't know what's going on today.
I guess it's still called Twitter videos. It's not because they didn't want to put X videos.
Okay.
Gee, I wonder why. Literally because it exists.
No one thought about that.
Mysterio Parcel says Captain Noodle Pants after his bath.
That's cute. I didn't know you needed to give guinea pigs baths.
Everything needs a bath.
Apparently so. It's adorable.
Do you need to blow dry it too?
That would probably be adorable. Just like a big old poof of hair everywhere.
And Mary, we have a sad one today.
This one was from me because this cat named Tater Tot went viral for having like this cute picture where he had casts on his arms. It wasn't because he broke his arms. He had like a skin condition, but he just passed away today.
We heard about that. I heard about it.
Little Tater Tot.
Today, our tiny spud passed away suddenly in my hands. His energy levels had been decreasing over the last week or so, and today he decided that it was time for him to cross the Rainbow Bridge. This tiny little potato has had such a profound impact on my heart, and I'm so unbelievably happy that I got to share him with the entire world. What started as me sharing some photos of the foster that I had turned into an entire community focused on kindness, humor, and compassion. I am astounded at the reach that Tater Tot story has had, and I cannot express to you just how incredible it's been.
Look at his little arms.
How he's impacted the world. I hope that his resilience during his short time here continues to inspire people. He was dealt a really tough hand with a lot of health concerns, but he didn't let that slow him down. He showed us that even if we have some struggles, there's always something to fight toward. I want to thank every person who's been here in his corner cheering him on.
Aww.
It has been so beautiful to watch millions of people around the world unite over the life of one tiny little creature.
Ken Pittsburgh said, "Never let Mary pick again."
Did I ruin the vibe? You guys send some of your pets who have passed away.
Yeah, it's not a whole video with like a highlight reel of the cutest moments of this now dead pet's life.
Well, maybe you guys should send highlight reels. Maybe we deserve that.
It is literally the perfect cute for Mary to pick.
I'm tapped out. I can't do anymore.
I love it.
He's so cute though.
He is a poor little guy.
And we hope that he bonked his way into yours. Thank you for being a part of his journey with us.
Oh, his little paw prints.
I'm calling the show early. We're done. I'm going home.
R.I.P. Tater Tot. That's all I have to say.
And the funny thing is, there's a couple of there's dog YouTubes that I definitely follow. That eventually someday you're gonna have to worry about that happening, and it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be very sad.
Today was sad.
Oh, well, now that that's done, I guess let's get started with the show. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So now that we're all thoroughly depressed.
This first topic is so stupid.
Yes. Tell everyone what's happening.
I feel stupid for even talking about this. Paramount made a big oopsie when they were marketing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which we're actually about to see tonight. Mm-hmm. They put out posters for promotion back in June for all of the characters and accidentally misgendered one of them. Oops. And then it turned out people thought there was a gay relationship between the characters Splinter and Scumbug.
Yep.
Scumbug is a traditionally female character, right?
Yes, according to this, she's a traditionally female character. The point of the matter is it's a mutant bug.
Yeah, this promo poster said Scumbug as himself.
Not accurate.
Implying this is a male cockroach. Okay.
And there was
it's a mutant cockroach.
And there was a YouTuber who covered this and said, look, first of all, I have a better question. Why is Splinter in any relationship at all?
It's not needed.
It's not needed. But it's not important.
At the end of TMNT Mutant Mayhem, apparently Splinter has a romance brewing between him and Scumbug. And they have a makeout scene, and it's disgusting.
It's 2023, and everybody knows who all the cartoon characters would prefer to have sex with, but nobody in real life is having sex anymore.
So we thought that Paramount decided to make this like a gay relationship.
People thought that, yeah.
They wanted to like make Splinter gay. But actually, it was just some poor intern that accidentally misgendered the other character.
Yeah.
We thought that they were trying to sweep this under the rug because they didn't want another like Bud Light style backlash.
You can't misgender anybody because if you do, it's automatically canon then.
I know.
Like anything like that, the LGBT community is going to find out and be like, that's ours now. Yeah. That's ours now. It's like mine. That's the LGBT community. That's
I bet there were definitely people being like, why do you care if Splinter is gay? Why do you care so much?
He's a mutant rat who trains Ninja Turtles. Why do you care so much who he has sex with?
If that's the case, why are you making him have sex at all?
Exactly.
So this YouTuber saw an early screening 5 days ago, and he said, to the best of my recollection, Scumbug's gender wasn't mentioned one way or another. And knowing this character was historically male, after I left, I looked at Paramount's official marketing for the movie, and their poster described Scumbug as male, and this is still posted on their official social media. They found out about this because of this tiny YouTuber's review. And
we always imagined her as a female cockroach, they say.
Yeah, this now is revealed as a huge marketing mistake by the director, who said in an interview yesterday, that was a marketing mistake and we were furious about it. They put that out. I don't know who did that or how that happened, but we were immediately like, that's not true.
There's a $20 one right there.
From Tom Bombader, Mary has immediately and forevermore forfeited all selection privileges for Cute of the Day. Tales of death are not how we do cute on this planet. That's like someone asking for recipes and handing them a roadkill cookbook. I'm sorry. I just had to share.
Continue.
And that will now be on the internet forever, but that was never the intention. That was never the character. We always imagined her to be a female cockroach, and that one poster was a slip-up.
Really, at the end of the day, what we should be more worried about is rodent on cockroach exploits together. That's a problem.
It was literally like that meme.
This is a kid's movie.
We showed him in bed with another male glob, which is revolutionary for Disney.
You showed him in bed with another glob, and it's revolutionary.
But this is the thing. This speaks to just how, like, when studios say things like, "Oh, whoa, we didn't expect that to happen. We didn't intend that to happen." They make every decision exhaustively. Like they do not.
I don't know how this got
accident.
past so many layers of management and checking that they just posted this and didn't realize that it happened until now.
Yeah.
When some YouTuber with like 3,000 subscribers did a review. That's crazy to me.
Yep.
Like, he makes his videos with finger puppets. No hate to the guy, but like, how did this guy find out your secret? I'm confused. And then everyone in the comments is saying he's lying. He's trying to rage bait for like woke backlash. I think he was telling the truth though.
Yeah. No, his review.
But they would have had to cut that out to release it in China anyway.
Likely, yes.
And Jackie Chan is the voice actor for Splinter, and he's a CCP agent, so he would have never let that slide.
Yeah. So he was not originally a woman. Like, there's like people are saying like he literally just they're saying he's just lying. I don't know if he's lying. I think that it was probably just a mistake.
Well, people are now seeing it after it's released, and they said, "Oh, you think they edited those lines in 5 days before release?" Okay.
Well, they would be able to do that.
They would be able to dub in different lines, yeah. But I guess because Scumbug doesn't have a voice actor, like because all he does is grunt and gnarl, then they wouldn't have thought about that.
What it shows is we live in a very unserious time where it is kind of like the fall of like the fact that this is something that anybody can worry about or take the time to worry about, or the fact that these studios have to care about something like this proves to you how much money is being invested in something this ridiculous and silly. Also, that they can ruin something that was made perfect in the year 1990 anyways. They don't need to make this movie. They could just re-release the 2012 series. This is stupid. This is stupid.
I just don't believe that this niche YouTuber had some kind of nefarious interest in generating bad word of mouth for Mutant Mayhem, and it turned into like this huge story for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It feels to me like it's one of the, like maybe we've hit the peak of this is the edge of the cliff now. We're like, okay, maybe we just back off from now on. Like, we've now officially hit peak woke outrage from people where it's like, no, the cockroach is not gay.
Woke is definitely peaking. Like, I think that we've kind of hit peak woke, but it doesn't go away like it's not like a fad. Like, it's not going to go away like a fad because there are people that are committed to these ideas.
Well, Dane said that, yeah, we're at peak wokeness now, but it's going to be replaced by something just as bad. Mm-hmm. We just don't know what it is yet.
I mean, I suppose it could be, but the thing about wokeness is it's a way to look at the world. Everyone likes to focus on like racial aspects or gender aspects or whatever, but really what it boils down to is it's looking at the world through power dynamics and saying that if someone is in a position of power, they are inherently immoral, and people that are not in positions of power are inherently moral. And it's treating the world that way. Yeah. And so it's not going to go away. Like, people are going to get sick of it, but it's not going to go away like bell bottoms went away, where people just stopped wearing bell bottoms. It's something that people really believe in. They're committed to it. People that are super pro LGBT, like if they got a kid that's post-op trans woman, they're not going to just stop believing in it. Their kid chopped their body up. That it's not going to just...
It'll become a cope, if anything.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of copes, but it's not going to go away as in, oh, wasn't it weird that woke was like that for a couple of years and then it stopped? It's not. It ain't that kind of thing.
No, it only moves one direction.
It's going to be there's going to be fighting, and there's going to be constantly...
Somebody mentions bell bottoms are back. See, I lived through I went to high school in 2000 in the 2000s when all the women wore the pants that flared heavily at the bottom, and they'd all come to school and their pants would just be soaking wet from walking in any amount of water.
Yes, that was way better than everything today, because the high-rise pants that women wear today are terrible, and I can't wait for those things to go away.
That's not going away because America is a fat country, and high-rise hides the fat.
It doesn't, though. That's what's confusing about it. Like, wearing high-waisted jeans isn't fooling anybody. It actually makes you look fatter.
Yeah, it's
right?
True.
No, I do not think so. I think that if you have it spilling over the bottom of your low rise.
No, but if you get low rise that actually fits you and doesn't...
The solution is not the style. The solution is the gym.
It's to not be fat.
The solution is put the fork down.
There you go.
You're right.
That's.
Well, Brett is just really dreading watching Mutant Mayhem tonight. I didn't even want to see it, but I got the tickets because he told me to. And it just, aside from Splinter...
I could be at the Meg too tonight!
You know, is Splinter gay? Does Splinter make out with Scumbug? Aside from all of these stupid questions we're asking, it does seem like it's going to be bad anyway because it's made by Seth Rogen, the permanent teenager, as he calls himself. And April O'Neil is obviously not anything like Megan Fox or
Paige Turco or Judith Hogue, or any of the women that played April O'Neil that were smoking hot.
She looks like she works at the DMV.
April O'Neil? You mean talking about in the comic books?
In this movie.
Well, I'm listening to the other movie versions of.
And then
April
the animated TV show that they put out earlier this year, right?
The 2012
Rise of TMNT.
Yeah.
No, that's new.
The
Nickelodeon show.
I only watched the one from 2012.
The newer one from like last year or this year. That also race swapped April O'Neil, but at least she was still skinny. And in this one, she's fat.
Cool. It's just not.
Why?
It's just not.
Why?
Because I don't know.
Why does our society hate beauty so much? It's not even just in women. It's also like the celebration of the dad bods, and it's also the architecture. Everything is ugly and poorly made now.
I don't know, but it's infuriating.
You're not allowed to be hot anymore. You're not. We got a $20 one there from Patriot American. Thank you.
He said, Mary, I think you're confusing Jackie with George Takei.
In regards to
Jackie Chan is the voice actor.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's the voice actor for Splinter. It is really funny too, because remember we just had that story not that long ago where Jackie Chan was supposedly called very anti-LGBTQIA+ by his daughter, so maybe he had a problem with it.
Wait, is George Takei a CCP agent too?
Probably. No, he's Japanese, right?
I'm confused.
George Takei is Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he was interned.
He was interned when he was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's not going to be a good movie. I could have gone to see The Meg. The sequel to The Meg. I regret this purchase. You shouldn't have listened to me.
The Megalodon, right?
It's just called The Meg 2.
Nice.
Like something Trench. It sounds awesome because it's got Jason Statham, and that's way cooler than having to go watch this, which is clearly not made for adults. But I'm a glutton for punishment, as you know. I love the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the first and the second one. The other day, because apparently this movie has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was tweeting about how this movie could have a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the first one, the 1990 film, has only a 42%. Obviously, Rotten Tomatoes wasn't a thing in 1990, but it's been aggregated since then. And as far as I'm concerned, that's heresy, because the 1990 movie is a masterpiece, and all those people should have lost their jobs.
It's weird how they changed the body types of the turtles.
Well, they
so
play
that they look
here.
like they skip leg day.
They're playing like
they look
kids
like
here.
potatoes with toothpicks stuck at the bottom.
It's a shame.
Yep.
It's just a shame.
Nothing's cool anymore. It's just not a thing. All right, let's go to Super Chats now that we're done with that depressing topic.
Okay. Tacty Platty said, Phil, in mornings near work passing through a neighborhood full of crunchy granola eating commies, I blast 2 weeks with windows down.
Yes!
Shane H. Wilder said, today's episode is going to be lit. I don't partake myself, but will you accept copious amounts of caffeine and nicotine?
Yes,
I will.
Call, man.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, hello, let's have a good show.
That was the $50 one. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Joshua 029 said, Mr. Cody, we need clarification now. We have questions we're not sure we want the answers to.
You don't want the answers.
You don't.
Stay away from the answers.
Don't ask.
Let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back. Thank you, guys. Let's talk about the follow-up, Mary, to what's going on with Lizzo.
Yeah. So we recently talked about BananaGate, as it's called on this channel from here on out. Lizzo has received a lot of allegations of weird banana stuff, discrimination, and attempted assault from 3 of her former backup dancers who were on her show on Amazon Prime, Watch Out for the Big Girls. And she has come out to respond to these allegations and wholly denies that anything ever happened in the lawsuit. She said, these last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. And I won't stand for it. No, my character has been criticized, Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. I don't know. I feel like bringing your employees to a sex club and making them eat bananas out of strippers' vaginas is a little bit inappropriate and unprofessional.
Sounds unprofessional.
That's just
to
me.
Yep.
I guess I'm crazy. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone uncomfortable, like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I'm not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm open with my sexuality and expressing myself.
It's giving Kevin Spacey.
I'm a flirt.
It's like
you can say that. I'm a big flirt.
So I have to ask you a question, Mrs. Lizzo. I have to ask you a question. Did you or did you not, in fact, make women who work for you eat bananas out of the vaginas of sex workers? I'm open about my sexuality. I don't know what kind of question.
Did you not hold a 12-hour-long audition in which one of your backup dancers soiled herself because she couldn't take a bathroom break? These questions need answers. She said, I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I'm not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. Ugh.
I love the gendered, like, it's got nothing to do with it. This is a unique problem because here's the thing. Phil, do you think this would, if this was guys on tour and they were asked to go to a strip club with guys they work with, what would the expectation be that if they didn't want to go, they just say no?
Yeah.
And nobody would care.
And I tell you what, 90% of the guys are going to say no.
Yeah, exactly,
yes,
right? But the idea here is that the women felt pressured to go because they need the acceptance of the,
well, they said
tribe.
We felt like it was mandatory to go to these group outings with Lizzo or else our jobs were in jeopardy. And I said, ultimately it's your choice. If you feel like your integrity is on the line, you should probably just walk away from the job. But also I understand that there are power dynamics. But when it's someone who looks like Lizzo, she's supposed to be this feminist empowerment figure in media, and she's like done so much for fat positivity and for feminism that we can't criticize her for anything.
What is she done? Because I get like people put a lot of, like, she gets a lot of attention, and she's an artist that's, written popular music and stuff, but other than that, what exactly has Lizzo done besides be
comments?
Fat?
The comment section on this is all women saying, wow, innocent until proven guilty has gone out the window, huh? Women who probably ordinarily would throw men under the bus for similar or less severe allegations. But one of them said, Lizzo has changed everything for plus-size women and women in general, regardless of the situation.
Lizzo hasn't done that, though.
And I was like, excuse me, what has Lizzo done for me as a woman? What about my life has changed since Lizzo got famous? I don't understand how, what is she an activist? What rights do I have because Lizzo is on the scene?
Is the idea that you now feel seen, so you feel like it's possible for you yourself to also become a famous singer who is fat?
I do not feel seen when I see Lizzo on stage.
There have been fat opera singers forever.
Clear.
Have there not? Have there not been plus-size opera singers forever?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. For ages.
I think she actually does sing opera.
Oh, there you go.
Or I'm just making that up.
If I understand correctly, Lizzo is actually an accomplished musician. She's talented, and she's
talented. She just seems to be a bad person because she's a narcissist after everyone in the media has been universally praising her for years just because she's fat and a minority.
Yeah.
When you tell someone that they're perfect and blameless and beautiful at any size, they're going to turn into an insufferable person.
If you lie to kids for all their life, they turn into miserable teenagers.
I'll continue with her statement. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. This whole comment section is basically claiming that she's getting canceled because she's black. despite the fact that the backup dancers, 2 out of 3 of them accusing her of these things, are black. The other one is still a person of color. Where is the racism? I'm searching for it and I don't see it.
Well, that's the thing.
It's just a victimhood narrative while she's still reiterating, oh, I don't want to be seen as a victim.
It's because they've been conditioned. Like a lot of people in society have been conditioned that if you have some kind of problem at work or whatever, and you can use race as a wedge or whatever, do it.
They're also make her a victim blamer.
They're also ignoring the fact that one of the women who said that she used to be a former creative director for her called her a toxic narcissist and that she's extremely disrespectful and mean to everyone who works for her. That woman is black. Yeah. So I'm just not seeing the victimhood narrative for her here. Let me read some of these comments. One said, give her the same grace and benefit of the doubt y'all give to black men when they are accused of things. Just imagine
Majors didn't get that benefit.
If Bill Cosby put out this statement,
black men,
no one would be giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you.
And yes, Exhibit A, Jonathan Majors.
Nobody gave Jonathan Majors the benefit of the doubt. It's party time. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Another person said, imagine Lizzo creating a flute rendition of the Toxic Gossip Train.
Yes!
We need this.
She could collab with Colleen Ballinger. Lizzo featuring Miranda Sings.
Another person said, if it was Taylor Swift being accused, y'all would go to war for her, so maybe calm down.
I mean, the Swifties would definitely go to war for her, but the average person would not.
Yeah, no.
This is $20.
Yep.
This one's from Benrick5. He said, Phil, can we talk about important things? PSV 31, enough said.
He's talking
but for real, Lizzo seems awful.
She does. He's talking about PVS 31s. They are great. Best $13,000 I've ever spent.
Another one said, y'all love to crucify a person before the facts come about. Lizzo deserves the same respect as the accusers. One fact we do know, they stated publicly already, that Lizzo never explicitly said or instructed what they're accusing, but there was a feeling in the air or otherwise an assumption. Let that sink in and let this play out. Okay, but if you read the actual document for the lawsuit, you would see there are allegations she actually did things that were inappropriate.
Yeah.
Banana and bar. I don't think that that's an appropriate way to interact with your employees who are dependent on you for their income. I
mean, like, also
she didn't even tell them where they were going.
I do think that there's an inherent difference here between how men would handle this situation and how women would handle this situation.
Course.
Like I mentioned it to Tim last night. I was like, dude, if you ask me to go skating at 7 a.m. on a Saturday and I don't want to, I just say no. Like if people are going out to dinner and it's like an employee thing with people that work here, I just say no. If I don't feel like going, you don't go. But there is a need to feel accepted by the group that, and I think there's a neuroticism to how they feel about it. And a lot of that is perpetrated by how Lizzo seems to be treating them. But this is a product of a heavily female-influenced workplace. What?
Olivia Claire's hilarious. Anyways.
Okay. So yeah, like a lot
of the lawsuit was girl drama.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I felt like there was this implication that I was feeling judged, and you can't bring that to a court of law.
That's not quantifiable.
But there were other things like pay disputes that do belong in a lawsuit like that.
Yes.
And also, I think it is clearly crossing some normal bounds between a boss and their employees to bring them to a strip club without telling them where they're going first, and then starting a chant at one of them to touch a nude performer's breasts.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cut and dry in my mind. Another person said, okay, people, the fat phobia is not productive. It's just embarrassing for you to mention her weight, regardless of the allegations. Don't seize this opportunity to pile on with the body shaming. I absolutely will seize on this opportunity to body shame Lizzo. Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
I just
endorsed.
And do you think this is one
we
of those
make fun
things
of how men look all the time. I make fun of how Harvey Weinstein looks.
Because he's disgusting.
People make fun of his weird penis.
Yeah, people that went into like everybody knows that Harvey Weinstein's got a weird penis and he begs women to touch it.
He's got a weird Weinstein.
I just, in these types of things, I imagine on tour, is this something, do you think that would be in the future she would do better to like separate herself from the people she works with? Because I imagine that building camaraderie, because I likened a lot of this to hazing. Similar to how frats do it, right? It's meant as a team building exercise, because as you're humiliated, your perceived value within that group is raised as per the way hazing works. And I think that might be something that frats like, but I don't know if that's necessarily something that is going to work in a professional environment where there's all of these laws put in place.
So we don't do significant hazing, just because people can't take that kind of stuff.
Not anymore.
20 years ago, 15 years ago, you could get some hazing. Nowadays, there's too much. It's too easy to hire someone that doesn't have a sense of humor, and it's just not worth it. So it is what it is. It's not as fun when you have to be worried about upsetting people, but at the same time, like, that's just the world we live in nowadays. And I'm not like I don't have an HR department. I'm not starting an HR department. So.
Taylor Swift is not taking the ladies and people she works with out to strip clubs.
No.
But she's also sexless, so that makes sense. Another person
only
called
because she wants to be sexless.
The queer strength coach said, cue the crowd who've been waiting for any chance to cancel this particular black celebrity.
Oh boy.
Wah, wah, wah. Another one said, I saw a post on Reddit that said, has anybody noticed nobody is coming to Lizzo's defense? No celebrities, no personal friends, nobody. It's very noticeable because usually the first thing they do is have people say good things about the celebrity under fire. And it's true. I haven't seen anyone on Lizzo's side. Yeah. But it's too much of a risk for anyone's career to come to the defense of someone who's facing allegations that are, that sound this severe.
Yeah. And they might
could get you canceled yourself.
They might come out later when
and why would you come to someone's defense if you don't know the facts?
Yeah.
It's not like we made videos about Jonathan Majors saying he's innocent and fighting for his career.
No,
we
most
didn't
of
care.
the time with stories like that, it ends up having to be like, look, this is the argument they're presenting. This is the points to the contrary.
And we talk about what are the consequences going to be for his career, but we didn't come out in support of anyone who was accused.
Yeah. Also, there was the person who there was the TMZ article that says the accuser praised the singer after the alleged incidents. So very clearly, like, maybe they're
right. They found this audition video that one of the women in the lawsuit made for season 2 of her Amazon show, where she was trying to get a spot on there as a singer. And she said that, like, Lizzo is the queen, and she praised Lizzo in the video. But I think this is just career opportunism. Obviously, you shouldn't assume that anyone who's trying to get on your show actually likes you as a person. Because, you're offering them a financial incentive. Yeah. So, then Lizzo's lawyer said about this video, these don't sound like the words of someone who was harassed or discriminated against by someone they described as the queen. Yeah, that's just a stupid rebuttal.
but that's also because people in Hollywood, and especially on the internet, always have to say the most hyperbolic, oh my gosh, they're the greatest person that ever existed.
Someone criticizing Harvey Weinstein's conduct could just as easily call him the king of Hollywood, because in a sense, he was at that type of position of power. It's not praising the person. So yeah, that's dumb. But yeah, I just find it ironic that a lot of these women in the comments section defending Lizzo and saying that she's being targeted for her race or for her weight or whatever would immediately throw men under the bus for similar allegations or allegations that are less serious.
Well, not to mention, if this came out about some other pop singer, people's reactions would likely be the same if the circumstances were the same. Right? Probably. Depending on how famous they were. Like, I was trying to imagine, like, if you wanted a group of fans that would defend their celebrity to death, it would be either Swifties, or if this came out about Beyonce. If this came out about Beyonce, maybe people might have some backlash, but she's got so much power within the industry, right, that she could quash a lot of this before it makes it to the public. But it would end up going away, and her fans would close ranks around her because they feel very strongly about her as their Lord and Savior, Beyonce, and that's the way they see it, and you're not going to be able to change their mind about it. The people making those comments aren't thinking rationally. They're not looking at it one way or the other in a way that's actually looking for the facts. They just want to entrench and defend the person that they're talking about. Whereas here, like, it's okay to make fun of Lizzo. I think you made the best point yesterday when you said, look, the fat shaming part is a ridiculous headline because that's not what actually happened. You pointed out that there's a discrepancy there. Like the actual
serious allegation, probably the most serious one, is that she was bounding up to one of her employees with her fists balled up and cracking her knuckles, basically preparing to attack her physically before she was restrained.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you could call that an attempted assault.
Also, somebody puts out in the chat, like, look, she mentions her weight all the time. It's relevant to her career, so it can be relevant. Like, you can't just have it going one way. You don't get to just talk about weight when it benefits you in a toxically positive manner. You also have to talk about it when it comes up in a negative context. You don't get to have it both ways. That's not the way the world works. They would like that, but that's not the way the world works.
I don't feel bad when Taylor Swift gets body shamed.
Does that happen a lot? What does she get body shamed for? Being too hot?
Being too tall.
In her documentary, she like complained about how everyone was keeping such a close eye on her weight because she used to be thinner, and she had an eating disorder, blah blah blah. I don't care, you're a multimillionaire. Another comment said, I went to a Lizzo concert and I saw a magical person who uplifts everyone around her.
That's
Lizzo
delusion.
is nothing short of giving. Y'all love a negative narrative. She doesn't deserve a targeted smear campaign.
You don't know this person. These are your fans. Like you don't know that she's a good person or a bad person.
How many people have watched a celebrity make a great movie make great movies for decades only to find out that they're a horrible person, right? Yeah. Hey, guess what? I can still go back and watch Seven or The Usual Suspect. I can watch those movies and still love Kevin Spacey's work, but I don't look at him and think, look at this amazing bastion of art in Americana. No, he's just an actor. And if you attach that much of your self-worth and how you view the world to a celebrity, you have a priority problem, unfortunately. You do.
They definitely have some parasocial connections.
It feels like that happens more with music now than with actors and stuff, right?
I think that musicians...
Because music speaks so much to you?
I think musicians are less... I feel like musicians articulate their positions less than actors. I feel like there's more demand on actors to have the correct position than musicians. And I think that goes to the fact that... Or I think that's because of the fact that actors are always thought of as people first because you see their face all the time, and that's what they're known for. Musicians... The only musicians that get that kind of attention are musicians that cross into where their personality or their face is in public.
Where you end up in a Star Wars show on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that
like
kind
Lizzo.
of stuff. But if you just wrote, have written some good songs that people dig or whatever, you probably fly under the radar just so long as you're not putting your face out there all the time. It's the people that can be identified as what's that guy's or that girl's opinion and stuff. If you're just the guy from the people from the Gorillas, nobody's asking what their politics are because the Gorillas are animation. The writers, the guys that write the music, nobody cares, So
Blue Man Group. I wonder what the Blue Man Group's politics are. Well, what if they were what if they were Republicans? What if they voted red all the time? They were the Blue Man Group. That'd
probably
be cool.
Wouldn't be
ironic.
They're just hardline. They were like hardline McCain fans back in the day.
Right.
They're just super pro-war. Like. That's
what if they become the Pink Man Group because they're communists?
There you go. But yeah, with Lizzo, I think I really do think that we have like an epidemic with a lot of people who, whether it's Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Lizzo, people get really, really attached to these people in a way that's not healthy. Not to be rude, but it's not healthy to attach that much of your self-worth and identity to somebody who you've never met.
But Lizzo invited that. And Lizzo wants that kind of hero worship because she benefits from being seen as this feminist icon and a magical being, like a god.
Yeah, and that, I think a lot of that's the culture we live in now with your phone in your pocket all the time. Back in the day, celebrities were something you saw on billboards and on your television at night, right? Now, celebrity is something you see constantly projected back to you on your phone, so it becomes more enthralling.
I miss when the media treated celebrities like shit.
Yeah,
like dirty tabloid rags.
Well, those tabloids still exist too.
They do, but I feel like so much of the media is just in celebrities' pockets now.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, like, there's this great thing that says, like, if you ever want to show how ridiculous the world is, what they do is they take old, like, Washington Post headlines or CNN headlines and they just put them on the cover of an Inquirer, and it immediately shows you how ridiculous what they're saying actually is. But the format of seeing it on, like, a traditional website kind of hijacks the fact that what you're reading is insane. Like, Donald Trump is a spy for Russia. Well, when you see that on a CNN headline, that's like, well, I guess he must be a spy for Russia. But if you put it on the cover of, like, a National Enquirer and it's got Donald Trump, like, he looks like Dolph Lundgren and he's shaking Vladimir Putin's hand, that looks ridiculous because it is ridiculous. But I think you're right. I think that celebrities have way too much pull in the culture right now because everyone seems to be very desperate to either engage with fame or be famous. And that's not really the healthiest thing in the world for you.
I know that the Call Her Daddy girl is trying to book Lizzo on her podcast right now. Because her entire job is to ask approved questions.
You should get, like, extra big chairs for her. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, because they would need different size
double
chairs
wides.
For her. Yeah. Did you see the thing the other day about the lady who was like, oh god, it's very mean, but it's like it's a 3-seat flight, and there's a lady in there who's like, it was the lady who complained about, like, they don't make flights for plus size for bigger people, and it's like you have the middle seat in this flight, and it's just like you can't fit. And I just, like, I feel really bad for the lady, but at the same time, they're making this about, like, she's trying to sue them, like, sue these airlines for not having.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them
flights
at all.
that fit them. But people.
Lizzo doesn't even need a chair. Her body is a beanbag.
Yeah. All right. Okay, then I got a question for both of you. Do you think this just goes away? I honestly, I feel this just goes away.
Lizzo stuff?
Yeah, I feel like in 6 months nobody will remember.
No.
Well, are they not going to, like, present this before a jury? Like,
she'll settle out of court. She'll settle out of court, give them some hush money, let them come back as singers in their next tour, and nothing will happen.
I don't think she's going to live down the banana memes, though.
Pray to God does.
It's like how Amber Heard still gets comments about how she crapped in the bed.
It is kind of shocking.
She will forever be the crapped in the bed woman.
And to me, Lizzo is always going to be the banana woman.
It is kind of shocking that out of all the food that Lizzo would become famous for, it ends up becoming for a banana.
She's done so many photo shoots with banana props. It's weird. She has, like, a weird obsession with bananas.
She's got a thing for them. It's her thing. I think. What do you think? It just goes away, Phil?
Yeah.
Just 5, 3, not even 6 months.
No.
A couple months from now, people will forget. Like, she, you know what she'll do? She'll be like, she'll accidentally say the word spaz in a song again, and that will be the new controversy. And she will shift the focus.
This is going, it's such a non-issue. This will not hurt her one bit. She's not going to have one, like, maybe the parents of the people that are accusing her will unfollow Lizzo. That's about it, though. Like, there is not going to be a big thing
because she's Lizzo.
The only not big thing she's involved in. It's gonna. I think also she's too important to the movement. Like, to that. Like, somebody in the chat says she's too important to the movement. She is. She's too important to that body positivity movement. They're like, damn it, we lost Adele. Damn it, we lost what's her name?
Rebel Wilson.
We're running out of fat queens.
We lost Mindy Kaling when she got on the Ozempic.
And then Ozempic came around. And we lost all the fat
is what will kill the fat positivity movement.
Unreal.
It's like, what if Lizzo became a spokesperson for Ozempic? That would be amazing.
Shameful.
That would be amazing. All right, let's go to Super Chats, shall we?
Chen Rizig said, all that remains are good musicians. What I like about the bands that I listen to are that the pauses are just as important as the notes. Sheet music is written with pauses strategically.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Our Fontanez said, all that remains is on heavy rotation in my house. Hurry up and come to Phoenix, Phil.
As soon as we can, I promise. I can't wait to get back on tour.
Andrew Jacobs asked, hi, Phil. What was your experience like on Ozfest?
It was sick. It was also extremely unhealthy.
How so?
Because we were
sick in both
Sick isn't awesome.
Sick.
Extremely unhealthy because so the guy there was this thing that would happen called the morning rip. So Unearth would open up their trailer and set up their tent and stuff like that, and they would hang either a bottle of whiskey or like a 6-pack, and there was a sign that said morning rip ? And you could either grab the bottle of whiskey and take a big old pull off it, or you had to shotgun a beer. If you could have anything, but you had to shotgun a whole beer. And that's probably when I became an alcoholic.
Cheery.
So
good times.
Waffle Sensei said, I'm old enough to remember when Brett adamantly swore he would never pay for Peacock, and now he is their #1 spokesperson.
I am. I have been converted. But to be fair,
did they win you over?
They won me over.
Okay.
They won me over. They had to. I will be honest. They've deleted a couple of shows that I really like lately, so they're kind of teetering back to the middle. But I did get rid of Disney Plus so that I could have Peacock, because I felt like having both is kind of a tacit admission that you've just given up on life. Having literally every streaming service, like at one point I had BritBox too, which is just all British television. I've gotten rid of BritBox. I've gotten rid of Disney Plus. I've got the one. I don't count Amazon Prime because I use that for packages more than
You're like the guy on Reddit that's like, I'm foreclosing my house. Here's my budget, and it's every streaming platform.
Exactly. Yeah. It's. I've gotten rid of several of them, and I don't count Amazon Prime. So.
Tom Bombadurp said, sexist men care about women and their well-being, hence keeping them in the kitchen where it's warm. The handcuffs to the oven means I love you. Yikes.
Big yikes, as they say.
Big yikes.
Spencer Jones said, yes, a Scientologist, and yes, a joke. Interesting that we have Scientologists in the audience. Well, I hope you're going to be okay when we talk about Leia Remini tomorrow.
They know that I'm the world's biggest Tom Cruise fan, which I'm not the world's biggest Tom Cruise fan, but it's a meme that got out of hand. But yeah, like
tell us about your Scientology experience / journey. I'm curious.
Let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back. We'll come back after the fact. Mary, tell us about Simply Nessa and the creepy $70,000 a week AI story.
So Simply Nessa is a YouTuber / TikToker, and she recently posted a TikTok where she said that a company, unnamed, approached her with a deal that they would pay her $70,000 a week if she sold her likeness to the company for AI content. And they suspiciously didn't tell her what type of content this was going to be. She did her own research and found out that it was actually spicy.
Yes. Should we play her clip?
Yeah, let's play the video. This is really dystopian,
Spicy
guys.
content
Episode
on
1000.
The internet? No.
Here we go.
Of the weirdest and scariest shit that happens in my life. I just had a company reach out and want to clone me. This is not a joke. This literally just fucking happened. So last week I got an email from a brand and they said, hey, we work with other influencers that have over 1 million followers and we recreate them as an AI program. And they were pitching it as if, oh, we would love to create an AI version of you so your subscribers could talk to you, ask you for advice, go to you for, random story times. And you would send us 30 videos of you spinning around, looking in different directions so we could recreate, an AI version of you. And they told me that I could make $70,000 in 1 week. That doesn't sound right. When I say not all money is good money, let me share with you guys what I found. So first, after doing a little bit of research on this company, they actually recently had a scandal with one of their influencers. That AI that they're claiming would be sharing story times and giving advice, somebody paid this girl's AI to say the most grossest, raunchiest, nastiest shit. So after seeing this, of course, I ignore the company. Why would I want to go through with that and get caught up? Then they go ahead and email me again. And this time they actually sent me a couple of links of influencers they were working with. So I do more research. I download Telegram and I click on the link to go ahead and talk to one of these girls' AIs. And immediately it asks me, what is your sickest, twisted fantasy? Let's recreate it. So this company is telling me, oh, we're going to use it for story times and talking to the girls. No, bitch. They want to use you to sell disgusting content without your consent. And in case y'all don't believe me, go ahead and pause and read. And if you literally look that girl's name up in the email, you will see the scandal. These companies are fucking gross. And I have so many more experiences to share with you guys, but this is something that literally just happened. Y'all want more stories?
It is weird that the audio wasn't synced for her, like in the video.
Maybe it was an AI video to test out the technology.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The conspiracy gets deeper. Yeah, but I don't know if it's doing it without your consent, if it's in your contract that they can use that for any content they want. That you gotta assume that means the worst, beyond your comprehension, nightmare fuel.
Butt stuff.
Probably.
Basically, yeah.
Probably.
Banana stuff.
I mean, it's like that,
lots of banana stuff.
It's like without your consent is what happened to Emma Watson. Emma Watson had her likeness used without her consent to use in like AI porn videos. And this was found out by news outlets, and they found out and they had to go delete it after the fact. But in this case, I guess
someone in the chat said Clonely fans.
And there were a ton of girls in the comments saying they would have done it.
Good job.
I can't imagine like being offered only $70K to do that and actually letting them take your likeness, and you're basically selling your soul.
Kind of, yeah.
I am one of those people who thinks that like phones actually capture part of your soul when you take a selfie. This is so much worse on so many levels.
Excuse me?
What?
You believe that the phone captures your soul when you take pictures?
A lot of people
in a
believe
certain
that
sense.
a lot of people believe that a camera captures a piece of your soul.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't ascribe to that, but that's a long-standing belief.
Okay.
You're at least selling a little part of yourself.
Look, I tell you what, if it's $70 every week, that's one thing.
70,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, my bad. 70,000 every week. That's one thing. 70,000 one time, definitely not. 70,000 every week for, if that's a guarantee.
For perpetuity, you don't know if it would be like.
I know I'm not as pretty as she is.
It would probably only be like a few weeks that they use hers before they rotate out to somebody else that they're gonna offer it to.
Also, back in the day, if this was a movie, back in the day, you, the person, go to the company to get cloned. Now the companies are hard up. They're out here looking for you. They're like, look, we want to clone you.
That's because the companies, like, they want to get the images or the likeness of a famous person. Yep. Mm-hmm. So that, because the famous person, there's always a market for famous people doing illicit things or adult activities. And I think that is probably where the value is.
But if you can find out that you can sell that type of content without actually engaging in that behavior, it's way more enticing.
Yeah.
Thankfully, she said no. That's to her credit. But
there's a
it's
Lizzo
like people talk about
right
AI like, oh, it's like a car. It's just a tool, and you might get into a car accident, but that doesn't mean we should ban cars, right? But like, we should have known that as soon as this technology became accessible to people, it would be used for bad things more often than good things.
Same thing happened with cameras when they were invented. It's where human beings go.
Yeah. So it could be used for good things like movies.
The two most interesting things to human beings are sex and death. That's making more people and dying. That's just the way that it's always been, and it's probably always going to be that way as long as human beings are, humans.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this is the type of thing where it's because she's famous, right? It's because she's semi-famous, right? She has like 117,000 followers or something like that, and
she has millions on YouTube and Instagram.
I was going to say, $70,000 a week for a couple hundred.
I hadn't heard of her in a while though.
When was she famous? When
2015.
That was when her heyday was.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But at a certain point, like, look, we already exist almost entirely in our phones these days. Like,
100%.
Most of the communication you're doing with people is through an avatar. Eventually, it's just going to get worse and worse, and you're gonna have to clone yourself to be able to interact with people in the frickin' metaverse.
No one was told when they were using the dog filter on Snapchat that they were actually inadvertently helping these companies build the technology we've gotten to this point.
It's not just that. Do you remember last year when when they were doing the face capture thing, where it would give you the perfect image of yourself as like a portrait?
All that stuff.
That was just for data capture. Mm-hmm. That was like all those trends are just data capture, right? So
like, want to get prove you're not a robot on any website. You're helping them build self-driving cars without knowing it.
For a while, I was concerned about that stuff, but then I was like, wait a minute, they're literally tens of thousands of photos of me on the internet. There, if
Nothing
someone
you
wants
can
to
do
make
about
Many hours of content.
Yeah, hours and hours and hours and hours of me at shows and stuff. So, yeah.
What's your going rate? How much would they have to charge you, Phil, to do this?
For them
$70,000 a week
to use me as an AI for porn.
Yeah.
70 grand a week, I'd do it.
Okay, let's go.
The company is going to reach out to you.
They are not going to reach out. But if they give me 70 grand a week,
Mary, I hate to inform you. There
will be a term.
There's a wage gap here between men and women. There's a strong wage gap between men and women when it comes to the AI sex market. I am sure.
There's more nightmare fuel related to AI that I sent you, Brett. Maybe we should.
Well, we also got the trailer to. Did you just send it, or was it earlier?
There's the trailer for a fake sci-fi movie that was made in 7 hours with just AI.
Yep. I got the one you wanted. You wanted to watch this one. This one is nightmare fuel. Here we go.
Because I celebrated Pride Month.
KFC fucking forgot my 40 chicken legs, so I shot up the store.
My girlfriend cheated on me, so I shot her ass up.
I was stabbed 114 times by my classmate.
My teacher fucking failed me, so I shot her up.
My friends shot me to death after I denied joining their gang.
Popeyes fucking forgot my 30 chicken sandwiches, so I shot up the store.
My stepfather killed my biological sister.
I don't know if we're even allowed to actually have this on air.
It's fake. It's AI.
I don't know if that matters.
I love it.
Family got killed by the cartel during vacation.
I hate it when that happens. Okay.
Why are you making the video then?
Yeah, bro. Man. I actually don't know if we're allowed to show that. Like, even as AI, I don't know.
We'll find out, I guess.
We'll find out after the fact. That one might get pulled.
But this stuff is proliferating on TikTok already.
It's like, why? Like, what?
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I feel like there are boomers that are like coming across this content and not really registering that it's AI.
Right.
Because I guess they just haven't consumed media as long as Gen Z has.
In the chat, Andrina says they don't look real, but it's not about looking real. It's about the words that are being spoken. I don't know if those words can be spoken via TOS. So I'm just better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Look, not good, not good. But you're right. It is a dystopian world that we're moving towards.
And I just sent you the VTuber.
I have that one.
Nightmare Fuel.
I have that one. Here we go. Damn it.
This says VTubers often twerk for their audiences, but when you lack the moves, machines come in handy.
I have to put this in.
This is terrifying.
Is that 3D printed?
There's some. Oh man, the sound is my favorite part. You need some WD-40, bro.
I love it.
Okay.
Does that improve your morale and your faith in humanity?
A little bit. Actually, I want to watch the AI trailer. So remember, Hollywood is on strike, ladies and gentlemen. Well, a gentleman, somebody made this trailer in 7 hours. It's called Genesis. He made it with Midjourney and Runway.
Ironically, it's about AI taking over humanity and making them into slaves.
Here we go. Let's watch it. Leave all the actors fired. We don't need them.
I would watch this.
Yeah.
The fact is, though, if they made this AI movie like in full, it wouldn't sell as well if you don't buy the likenesses of these movie stars we're used to seeing on screen. So that's why they want these contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But so the actors aren't having it. Just think of like a worse time to strike than the moment when studios figure out the best way to replace you, though.
Idiots.
They're dumb.
Idiots. They're they're going to be replaced.
The people in charge of Hollywood just figured out how to replace me entirely. I'm going to strike. I'm going to stop working.
The only thing I think right now that's missing when it comes to AI generations of stories and stuff like that is getting AI to generate the same character. So like right now you tell AI, oh, this is what I want to see. But getting the AI to generate the same character over and over and over so that way you could actually make a movie or make a even a comic book now, that I think is still a problem because it doesn't actually
as far as the actual art. Yeah,
because it doesn't
it never looks the same.
You couldn't have a character that like you couldn't create a character and then have AI generate him and then expect another AI to generate this or another AI to generate the same character later for videos and stuff. So
yeah, it's
but we're on the fast track to them figuring out those problems.
Yeah, I imagine it's 6 months away, you know.
And I just saw an article earlier today that said Warner Brothers CFO reveals company has saved $100 million due to ongoing writer's strike.
When they're telling people that they saved money because of the writer's strike, you are not winning the strike. The point of your strike is to apply pressure and make the company upset. When they're putting out statements about how much money they've saved because you're striking, you are losing.
Yeah. Here it says, during the company's Q2 2023 earnings result webcast, he touted the company's $1.7 billion in free cash flow and pointed to a number of factors contributing to it. One of those points is cost saving due to the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. He said modest cash savings from the impact of the writer's strike, which we estimate were in the low $100 million range during the quarter. Later during the webcast, Weidenfels, that's his name, said uncertainty in the studio segment has increased with dual strikes. This may have implications for the timing and performance of the remainder of the film slate, as well as our ability to produce and deliver content. Well, you know, that's going to keep happening, and they're going to keep the strike up. They said that a bunch of celebrities just donated large sums of money to the SAG-AFTRA funds to allow them to be able to keep the strike going onwards to up to 6 months.
Yep.
And nothing will be lost to us.
Nope.
Because somebody pointed out best, and I couldn't even put it into words the first time I thought it was like your watch list, your to watch list, you couldn't watch it in a lifetime. Between all the streaming services, you wouldn't be able to watch everything that you actually want to watch in a lifetime, especially if you actually live like a productive life and you don't just watch stuff all day, every day. Mm-hmm. If all you're doing is watching stuff as a means to wind down at the end of a workday, you don't need new content constantly. You're fine. You'll never need them again.
The night shows like what's his name? The nightly show. Conan O'Brien, not Conan O'Brien, but does he have a night show?
I don't know. He does. It's a sketch show, right? But you're talking about like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget
Fallon,
the guy's name. But like those guys have all been off, and no one cares.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
If anything,
for them as entertainment is like if it's on, I'll watch it.
And those, I mean, if anything, they would want the strike to end because they're going to want to be able to make their crappy content before the election.
True.
They're going to be like,
maybe it will save us from all of that politicized content on late night.
Oh, that would be nice.
In the election year.
Yeah, they're gonna want.
If it goes on that long,
wouldn't that be nice? We don't have to watch. Like we can just imagine. Like all I have to think about is stupid Alec Baldwin sitting at his home, not being in jail, but at least he's not making a Donald Trump impression. That would be nice. Right? He should be in jail, but I'll settle for not doing a Donald Trump impression. If that's like, it's like I'm aiming high. You know, it's the art of the deal, right? I'm pitching Alec Baldwin goes to jail, but I'll settle for Alec Baldwin just doesn't go on Saturday Night Live and does his horrible Trump impression.
Well, obviously Hollywood and the music industry, all of these people are in deep shit.
What do you think ends up? Do you think the actors just tap out? The studios have proven for decades now they can move money around and just fudge the records for as long as they need, right? Like money is just monopoly money for these studios at this point anyways. Mm-hmm. Like the actors are going to be the ones that are going to suffer real world consequences.
And it's the actors that make the most money who are preaching about it, right? They don't face the consequences either.
And that does suck that the lower tier actors are the ones who aren't getting any shine here when they're the ones who are actually struggling.
Whatever. I'm sure that they're also posting annoying Union Strong,
Oh, they are. Like one of the things that I thought was really interesting is anytime Discussing Film posts something about the strike, the comments are suspiciously turned off.
Oh, really?
For the not for the ones regarding actors, but for the ones that are like general announcements that I saw. Several of them, the comments were just, no comments allowed. They allowed them when Stephen Amell spoke out against the union.
I bet that, I don't know if SAG is doing this, but I bet there are a lot of bot accounts employed to post on Twitter favorably about the strike. Because it seems like they're all going off of a very strict script of what they say about the strike. But maybe that's just because they're robotically
union
spewing
strong.
those phrases.
Union strong.
Maybe they're just acting like AI.
Yeah. And meanwhile,
while complaining about getting replaced by AI.
What it is like, look, this lady's being offered $70K a week to have her likeness scanned, and these actors are like, they want to give me a day's labor fee and then scan me and then use me in perpetuity.
Yeah.
She's winning. They're losing. So what they're saying is like, you should be better at social media-ing, ladies and gentlemen. You should be better at thirst trapping, and maybe you would get the $70K a week offer and not the $200 a day appearance fee and then your likeness is used forever offer.
Just be careful what you say, Brett, because Ron Perlman could burst into this room any minute now.
Oh my gosh, very scary.
Does he still have pee on his hands?
Probably. What did you say, Mary? You're like, but he does have a great head of hair.
He does.
He's got that going for him.
He does.
We'll give him that. But Ron Perlman, like, what would be worse? Ron Perlman jumps in here to yell at you, or Mark Ruffalo appears in here to yell at you?
They're equally terrible.
Yeah. And then Alec Baldwin shows up behind them and everybody ducks.
There are a ton of pop culture references in Mutant Mayhem, including praises for Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Why?
Nobody
Just
knows.
why?
Nobody knows. I can't imagine. Like he seems like one of those people where like behind the scenes, I'm sure people talk mad shit about him.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah. There's $20 one there from Benrick 5.
He said, Crisis Party 4, Brett wore a lot of hats and grew the beard again in prep for this show. We all know Phil is intense.
I still wear hats. Yesterday I wore a hat. I still do wear hats. I just don't always.
You're not in your hat era.
Oh my gosh, not in my hat era,
Let's go to Superchats.
Let's do it.
Benrick 5 said, I would be a little upset if metal bands, heavy rock, punk would ever join any union. Kind of breaks the allure of the music, just saying. Yeah.
F you, do what my union tells me to.
I'm not a union fan at all. My first bad experience with unions was like when I was a kid. Like,
what happened?
I think
union trauma.
I was like 16 years old. Well, it was the first time that I ever actually found out what a union was, and I was a bagger at like a grocery store, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna have to join the union." Or there was a union trying to get in, I think, and they were like, if you get in, you're gonna have to pay them, and I'm like,
I'm not doing that.
I'm not paying them anything.
You're like, I'm 16.
Yeah,
this is the only money I have.
Yeah, I'm like, I made $4 an hour. I'm like, what do you mean I gotta give you guys, 20% of my paycheck or whatever?
Was that your first job?
It was my second job.
My first job was as a cart pusher, and then I would rotate between pushing carts and bagging groceries.
Same thing with me.
Yeah,
that was my second job. I bagged and collected carts, and then I made it to the grocery department to stock shelves.
Best shape I was ever in was pushing carts all day, because back then they didn't have the button thing.
No,
the thing that pushes you had to push them yourself. And when you have to push it through snow in the middle of winter in Minnesota, you get strong very, very quickly.
Yeah, God, that's awful.
It's like going to war.
It was basically like going to war.
Alex, making beds and writing novel on the side, said, Hi guys, I'm only dropping a super chat because you are my afternoon entertainment tomorrow at work. Hey Phil, my fave part of IRL is you reacting to Ian.
Ian is wonderful, and I just think that he has a lot of emotion, and the emotion talks more than the brain talks.
So he's like me. That's me too.
I appreciate that about him. James Orenthal Wen said, props to Phil on his Chad level vocals.
Cheers.
#Russell.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Shane H. Wilder said, PCC may not have saved my life, but y'all got me through a rough patch in 2022 when my dad passed away, and I needed to take my mind off things.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Disco Jensen said, I don't do TikTok, but if I did, I would not gain a following. That is all.
Neither would I. Let's hold off on the rest, shall we?
All right.
Mary, do you still check TikTok ever?
I'm not on TikTok because I got banned on TikTok.
But you can be banned.
I don't know exactly what I got banned for because they wouldn't tell me what community guideline I violated, but I think I was just getting mass reported because I was making a bunch of videos that piss people off.
Yeah.
Why are you asking?
I was just wondering.
I got booted from TikTok too.
Did you?
No, it's my second account now, but I'm not sure what they booted me for the first one. Probably had something to do with guns.
No, my question was more like, can you so you can't even scroll TikTok if you're banned? Like, because you have to be logged in?
Yeah, you do have to be logged into an account to scroll it. So I guess I just see the ones that people repost.
Okay. All right, guys, let's move on. So, I don't know if anybody here is married. I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bryce's party.
Bryce's party. Thank you. Oh, please.
It's party time.
Thank you, guys. Well, I don't know if anybody here happens to be married, or if you're thinking about getting married, if you're engaged, if you just like the concept of marriage in general.
Well, stop.
Stop. Because Mia Khalifa, twice divorced, ex-adult film star, has some strong opinions on marriage.
Not ex. She's still on the Only brands.
Only brands. Okay, well, ex IRL porn star.
Yeah, there you go.
Rather than digital porn star. She's got some strong opinions on whether or not you should get married. And of course, in today's culture, the person you should be taking your advice on romantic engagements is likely from an adult film star.
The weirdest thing about her take here is that she's not anti-marriage. She's just pro-divorce.
Super pro-divorce.
She's been married twice, engaged 3 times, and none of these relationships worked out. So her take is basically, don't be afraid to leave your husband.
Yeah.
Just do it, queen.
Let's watch the video.
It's so dumb.
Here we go.
Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is.
That's not what the word sanctimonious means.
It's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
First of all, 2 points. One, J-Lo has her beat. J-Lo is way more.
True.
J-Lo is the Tom Brady of divorce. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that. 2, it proves my point right about just how amazing. There's a scene in the new Twisted Metal where they torture people by making them fill out endless DMV paperwork. This is true.
To Mia Khalifa, the worst thing about getting divorced is the paperwork.
Yeah, she's like, I just got my nails done.
She thinks that marriage is just a piece of paper. But
it's a sanctimonious relationship between men and women.
If marriage is just a piece of paper, then I want to ask, like, why did you do that twice, almost 3 times? If it's meaningless, why did you engage in the institution? And this is why I said the best argument against no-fault divorce is just telling these people who clearly don't value the sanctity of marriage to not get married.
Yeah, just don't get married.
It's so easy. It costs $0 to not get married.
I feel like people want, and it's women because men don't care, but like I feel like women want the attention and they want that special day.
They want the wedding.
And they want the wedding.
That's why all of Mia Khalifa's wedding photos were of herself.
There was like there was almost barely any photos of them together. It was all photos of her posing.
Granted, the guy might have been a little bit ashamed to be with her, but
but I mean that's the thing. It's people nowadays don't look at marriage as a commitment. They look at it like dating. They look at it like going out with like extra steps. Like I
dating
really
on hard
like
mode.
Yeah, it's like I really like this person. But because like, oh, it'll be a real hassle. You think it's a pain in the butt to break up with someone?
We got a government certificate that says I really like you.
It's so stupid.
For now. But if you
stupid.
do anything that I deem as toxic and you get in the way of my powerful career as an OnlyFans star, then I'm kicking you to the curb.
Wait, what do you mean you said you don't like it when I post content on OnlyFans? Divorced. Like, didn't they have that discussion beforehand? They should.
Yeah, you should have. I mean,
Probably should have.
there shouldn't be, like in a marriage, you shouldn't have surprises like that. It shouldn't be like, oh, I don't like you posting on OnlyFans. Well, you know what, dummy? I was doing it before we got married. You met me while I was doing it. So don't get married to someone that does things you don't like.
Sort of like Jonah Hill. Like, don't date someone who has swimsuit pictures on their Instagram if you don't want them to have swimsuit pictures on their Instagram.
I was dating this wonderful woman. I loved her to death, but I was not going to move, right? And we dated for a year, and it kind of came to the time where she was like, hey, so what's going on with moving? I was like, I'm really not moving. So we broke up. Tried to get back together again and see if we could kind of figure it out. I'm still not moving.
Yeah.
Like, it
matters.
These things matter. Like, so like, be honest with your partner in the beginning and stick to your guns. And then if your partner tells you, hey, these are deal breakers for me, then you have to be like, hey, I'm going to need that. We can't date. Like, that's an option, saying, making the adult decision. I want this, you want that. These things will not work together, so we can't date. We can be friends. Maybe we can screw around if we're grown-ups and we're not, if you're not religious.
Disavows.
Fine. Some people do, and whatever. Fair enough. I'm a degenerate. I know, like, that Mary's not. I know, it's fine. But the point is, you don't have to do things that don't line up with
and that's
the way
what
that you want your
dating is
life.
for. It's to figure out whether you're going to commit to this person for life.
Smartest fucking thing she said in 5 minutes.
And a lot of this has to do with the fact that the state has gotten involved with marriage too, right? That it's no longer a religious ceremony the same way it used to be, and the consumerist nature and the consumerist nature of weddings, like you said earlier, like to the guy, he may look at it that way. Like, I don't know if the guys in her life looked at it as a means of like lifelong commitment. I can't speak to that, but I do know that for her, I imagine it had a lot to do with getting the ring and taking the photos and making the posts on social media
and telling your friends
so that
getting
everyone
the attention.
Where her friends will then say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you," and then talk shit behind your back, right? So like,
porn stars get married left and right, and I really don't understand it, but look at what happens to their relationships as the years go by. Usually they don't last. And I think she did say that a factor in her second marriage ending in divorce was the fact that her husband was not comfortable with the fact that all of these videos of her exist on the internet for everyone to see in the most intimate position. And granted, he shouldn't have been dating an ex-porn star or current porn star if he wasn't comfortable with that. But at the same time, these are the consequences of your actions. You can't just say like, oh, I was young, I didn't understand the consequences at the time.
If you can Google an individual's butthole, then you probably should not be marrying that person.
I mean, it's just, I don't want to compare people to products or commodities, but the analogy works that, if everyone has access to something, it's not valuable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the psychological impact of her having done this stuff in the past makes her an insufferable person to be in a relationship with. Like, you've permanently broken your brain and your ability to pair bond.
Yeah. And that's rampant in the culture now anyways. I mean, just the fact
whether it's related to porn or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, like these general, women who have hooked up with tons of guys, you're going to have a much harder time getting into a lasting relationship when your ability to pair bond has been wrecked by being in the most intimate relationship with hundreds of people and having it end over and over again, or serial monogamy. If you're in a committed relationship over and over again and that ends over and over again, your brain becomes used to the pattern of those types of relationships ending, right?
And you're just expecting it to come to an end.
But telling women this in their own best interests is deemed misogynist now.
You're not allowed to criticize at all. Not really, at least not in a way. And we've kind of eliminated the ability to actually take criticism or take advice from people, especially because a lot of it comes at the hands of people on the internet. So you're already predisposed to not necessarily like want to hear it. Even if maybe you're getting good advice, a lot of times it's not exactly given to you in the most polite of ways.
Yeah.
And even if you're hearing what you need to hear, somebody's telling you what you need to hear, it would mean more if it came from somebody who actually knew you, but I don't know if that's actually happening to
Lydia responded to this and said, on my way to get parenting advice from Casey Anthony and business direction from Elizabeth Holmes.
Thank you, Lydia. Oh, there it is right there. Thank you, Lydia.
Love that. Love that for you.
That is the way it is. I don't know if there's a worse person you could get marriage advice from, but it's just unbelievably cynical to me. The way that it's the lack of even attempting to talk about that commitment is hard work, that relationships are hard work, let alone marriage, which is even more work long term. And if you were married that many times in that short of a period of time, it's not as if you went the distance for 2 decades and then it fell apart. It's that you didn't even make it past that first initial period, where a lot of times people are the happiest because they're still filled with all of the chemicals that make your brain kind of crazy when you're in a new relationship.
We've got one from Rhaegar Targaryen. Said, I just saw Oppenheimer and I cannot stop thinking about it. That man was done dirty. I liked the focus on communism and political subterfuge. Christopher Nolan is one of the only people I trust to handle political drama.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people think he's secretly based. I would maybe say I agree. I can't
We almost believed it when the headline said he came out as non-binary.
Yes. It would have been really funny if he had. I loved Oppenheimer. Like, I really thought a lot of those critiques, like, what was it? Like, Jack Posobiec said, like, it's a love letter to communism. I'm like, you didn't watch it very closely.
Not exactly.
Have
you guys seen those like street interview videos where they'll like go up to an elderly married couple and ask them, how long have you been together and what is your advice for keeping a long-lasting, healthy marriage? Yeah. And a lot of the things that they reiterate every time are like, being married will reveal to you your weaknesses and reveal to you how selfish you are. Probably having kids is a huge part of that too. Yeah. And it's a purifying thing. It's like a purifying fire that will like cleanse you of a lot of your selfishness. And if you're like me and Khalifa, or you're an influencer, your entire life and career has been all about you. Yeah. Then you're not capable of being in a relationship where you focus on another person for once.
Yeah. It's I don't know if that's something that can change. I think with us living increasingly more within our phones and digitally, like, I don't know if we are able to foster a less narcissistic and self-involved culture. I think it only, unfortunately, I think it only gets worse over time. In my opinion, do you think that's something that we can change, that we can pull back?
There's studies that say that like Gen Z and young people have a significant conservative streak in them. So we'll see. I don't know.
Especially teenage boys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because I think that as much as society has really demonized men and boys for the past 20, 30 years, I think that that's going to start to be minimized more. I don't know about stop. I don't think it's going to stop, but I think it's going to be at least receive pushback. And I think that might help society a little bit.
I think we need WGTOW, where all of these women who supposedly hate men so much can go their own way and stop trying to get married when they clearly hate all men.
I thought they were called radfems.
Yeah, that's I guess the corollary there. Yeah.
The Jose from Tower Game, who was on last night, he met his wife and they got married a month later, and they've been married 10 years.
I think Candace Owens and her husband also got married very quickly.
That kind of stuff happens, but you have to find it's not so much about finding the right person. It's about finding the person that wants to stay married and work on the marriage. It's not like...
That's what he basically said. He said, like, look, he goes, we became more attracted to each other as the relationship went on. They grew into it more.
That's what happens when you but it takes the commitment. Like when people ask, like, how to, you ask old people or people that have been couples for a long time, stuff. It's like, how did you do it? And it's like, well, we just never broke up. And it's that simple. Like the things that really upset you, that you're like, man, I don't know if I can do it. Like they just didn't do the man, I don't know if I could do it part. They just said, well, I'm pissed off, and then I'm going to talk to him or figure it out. But it is as simple as not leaving. Like, granted, if it's infidelity or violence, I get it. Like those kind of things, you can't stay in a relationship. But otherwise, like if he leaves the seat up all the time, friggin' deal. Like, learn how to deal with it. Learn how to talk to him and communicate with him. If she does something that's annoying all the time, she spends too much money, deal. Figure it out. But those are the things that are small things that you can get through in your relationship. The things you can't, I get it. Violence or abuse, that stuff does happen, and people need a way out. But otherwise, like, she burnt dinner, shut up. You have dinner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hope to see that more people end up finding ways to to get married and stay married, because the divorce rates are unfortunately very, very high. But if society is changing and we're pushing in another direction, and also just learning to value it more, I guess. And it just feels like there's also like Hollywood has been very cynical for a very long time about marriage. So a lot of the culture, a lot of the media, there was a whole genre of movies, whether we're talking about American Beauty, a lot of movies and stuff that came out in the late 90s and the early 2000s bemoaned suburban life. Like, you had it really. Think about Office Space. It's not really to do with marriage. Yeah. I think it was like,
American Beauty was definitely hating on suburban American life.
And what it is they didn't understand how good they had it. It was about the boredom of that suburban life that you had. The problem is that's coming from the mind of a writer who has moved to Hollywood, where they're not living the values of somebody in middle America. True. But those ideas were pushed forth to the general public, and I think that caught into the consciousness of society, and a lot of those values have been kind of eroded by popular culture and film as well.
I think the cynical tone that society has is a significant detriment to marriage and stuff like that, because people go into marriage expecting to divorce.
Like, this is my starter husband.
Oh God, like that kind of stuff.
That term has proliferated. I think extended adolescence is also a huge factor here. I mean, Mia Khalifa is a 30-year-old woman, and she lives the life of a teenager.
I live the life of a teenager myself, so I'm not in any position.
Well, what I mean by that is how self-centered she is.
Okay, all right.
And emotionally immature. I just saw this headline from a few days ago. Mia Khalifa told a passenger on her flight that it was her honeymoon so that they could switch seats and she would get to sit next to her friend. Who lives like that?
You're just a bad person. You're just a bad person.
Who would want to put up with someone like that?
It was like that story I had, like, where I was on
still
the plane.
Throws shade at her ex-boyfriend. Like, you're 30 years old. Grow the hell up.
Well, also, she doesn't have to go to a normal job.
And anyone who, like, in this country who's like 18 to 22, who is ready to get married is miles ahead in maturity compared to a 30-year-old woman that acts like this. So I'm not, denigrating marriage for the people who actually value it. I think that if you don't value the sanctity and indissolubility of marriage, then stay away from the institution. Just don't engage with it.
Yeah.
If you don't value the sanctimoniousness.
Don't get legally married. Just have a wedding. If that's what you want to do, is throw a party and wear a pretty dress. Do that.
The thing is, I think that a lot of people would do that if their friends wouldn't tell them to shut the hell up. Like, if your mom and dad wouldn't be like, no, we're not going to your dumb party that's not really a wedding. Like, like, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, it's not really a wedding? Yeah, I'm going to stay home. Yeah, I really, because honestly, because there's only a handful of people that I know that I would go to their wedding.
Yeah.
Like, if you're really my friend, you're probably not going to invite me to your wedding because I don't want to go.
Yeah. There you go. Be kind. Don't invite them.
Exactly.
You can invite them to the bachelor party. Don't invite them to the wedding.
Mia Khalifa definitely has Bridezilla vibes.
All right. Let's go to Super Chat, shall we?
Mr. X said she has a body count higher than a Vietnam War vet. Yikes. Johnny Beck sent us a thumbs up. Thank you. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary, why would you send me ninjas to cut onions?
He's talking about the video about your horribly chosen
tater tot.
Yes, tater tot video.
I'm sorry, but tater tot deserves to
morosely cute.
Be memorialized. Disco Jensen said, everything from my childhood has been defiled. Time to read my Bible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I like I said, I'm not passing judgment on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie yet because we're going to see it tonight. But I can already tell that it really wasn't made for me anyways. It's for a younger demographic. It's not
made for you.
Yeah, it's for a younger demographic.
Kai said, Phil, can you give us a roar?
He's been asking. How's that one?
Thanks.
Somebody please clip that and send it to me. Thank you very much. And that one.
There you go.
Disco Jensen said taking your employees to a sex club as a male offender and female offender are two different games. Notice how there are no calls to lock her up.
And they didn't have a choice because they wouldn't be able to give consent because he's a male with power dynamics.
I think that's why the backup dancers ended up in that situation anyways, because they're women and they're not capable of
saying no.
Being assertive, and they go along with what the rest of the group is doing way too often. You just need to learn to have your own voice and your own mind about things.
Which is funny because they're the ones who always talk about the generic terms. Like, they help me find my voice.
Exactly.
Like, what, the voice of literally everyone else?
Did Lizzo help her backup dancers find their voice when they didn't want to eat a banana out of a sex worker's vagina?
She helped him find catering.
I don't think so.
Got him. I hate the internet. I hate how the internet has turned everybody into public speakers who sound like they've got something written for them by some type of publicist. Just talk like a normal human being.
Mm-hmm. Olivia Claire said, if someone told me I looked like Lizzo, I would never leave my house again. Also, my computer keeps trying to autocorrect Lizzo to pizza. Very fitting.
That's what I laughed about. That's what she's I saw that and I laughed. So.
Kai said, I just want a genuine Phil roar and never give up. Well, he obliged.
I just did. You got two.
That one's for the second one.
Yeah, hopefully the deep was what you're looking for.
Grin said, day one of saying MABGA, make bullying great again.
But what's the A stand for? Make American bullying great again?
Oh, yeah. You forgot about the A.
Yeah, make American bullying great again.
Make all bullying.
There you go.
Great again.
There you go.
Josh High said, you don't need to mention her weight.
No,
but I wanted to. So I
wanted to. But it was fun.
Mary's giving you the real reason. I'm going to give you the technical reason. The technical reason is that she uses it to her advantage. Therefore, she does not get to just not include it when the story's
literally
about it.
The entire point of her show on Amazon, Watch Out for the Big Girls, was about her hiring women to be fat on stage with her because she's fat. So
hiring women to
I
be
feel like
fat
we're
on
allowed to
stage
discuss
with her.
that.
I love it.
But yeah, Corey Anderson said, I would pay good money to see Lizzo run a 40 at the NFL Combine.
At the NFL Combine? Yeah, that would be. I wonder what her 40 is. That would be.
She's probably way more fit than most people her size.
Well, Lizzo?
Yeah, she probably has more muscle mass than most people her size. That's not to say she's healthy, but
try blowing up an NFL linebacker. Like, you cannot get them tired because they're in such good shape.
Yeah,
Just because they're big does not mean that they're not in good shape.
Sort of. The linebackers are explosive, so like they'll go push off the line and stuff. But you get a linebacker trying to run like 100 yards. And linebackers by 50 yards
still in better shape than the average person of that size.
You're probably right. But by the time the linebackers get to the 50-yard line, the running back and the wide receivers, they've all already got a touchdown. So
somebody says her 40 would be 48 seconds.
Shane H. Wilder said, how is Lizzo not in better shape? Because she ran for that victim card fast.
Yep. Got him.
Hypot Thesis said, Lizzo is the black female TJ Kirk. Changed my mind. Wait, what? Who is TJ Kirk?
The amazing atheist.
Oh.
I'm ending the poll because that was from Hypot Thesis. I'm going to end the poll because it was pot related, technically. I asked everybody, who is the ultimate 420 icon? With 40% Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
With 32% Bob Marley. With 23% Snoop Dogg. And with 3% Seth Rogen.
I really expected Snoop Dogg to beat up Bob. Bob Marley. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Cheech and Chong won.
Yeah, you said Bob Marley, and I, for some reason, was thinking Willie Nelson.
That Willie Nelson would have been my vote because there's always the stories that Snoop Dogg saying that the only person who could outsmoke him was Willie Nelson.
Yeah. Crofty said, I've become comfortably numb. Buck, happy 420 episode.
Thank you.
Nice.
Corey Anderson said, tell Hannah Claire I said, what's up?
If I see her in passing, I will say, what's up?
Spencer Jones said, been a Scientologist for a long time, works for me. If you have questions, I'm on the Discord. Met Leia Ramini ages ago. She was terrible to me.
She also perpetrated that suburban image that they had in TV back then where you actually believe that Kevin James is married to Leah Remini. Just no.
Yeah. I'm not going to join the Discord, sorry, but yeah, I'd be interested to hear more.
By the way, I'm not saying that Kevin James can't be married to a hot woman because Kevin James is a successful actor.
No, his character.
His character is married to a woman
driver?
that the UPS driver is married to a woman that looks like Leah Remini. Just not really. No.
I guess you're just bigoted against UPS drivers.
I was sent an article earlier that says that like all UPS workers now are going to be making six figures. Like all drivers are making six figures. And like I said, I've known 3 or 4 people that have worked at UPS. All of them made careers out of it, and none of them has a bad thing to say about the company. They love working there.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Disco Jensen said the solution is to become a wasteland pirate raider for the strike. Yeah. Already doing that. Corey Anderson said, Phil, what musician would you like to collaborate with that you haven't had the chance to?
Metallica.
That'd be cool. Joshua029 said, I blame all this on people that don't put electrical tape on the camera lens on their phone. # abort the government. I mean, I take selfies too often to put electrical tape there.
Which is funny because Mary will just leave her phone around because she's not, attached to her phone. Right? You don't have to carry it with you everywhere you go.
Makes me anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a famous photo of Zuckerberg
Yes.
covering the front of his camera?
Yes.
On his phone?
Yeah.
He just doesn't trust Apple. That's the thing.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. And like at one point, like his phone got hacked and the password was like Dada, like DADA or something like that. I remember that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Joshua029 said, Hypothesis said, you see Doom Guy versus NPC Girl from Flash Gets?
No, I don't know what that is.
No.
Neither do I.
Please explain. Shane H. Wilder said, I never use AI in memes because it creeps me out. Thank you.
I think Kellen used something to create that meme of me with the cowboy hat last night on IRL. I didn't appreciate
feeding
that.
your image into the algorithm.
I didn't appreciate that, Kellen, even if I did look cool with the laser eyes.
Jacob Edler said, y'all never heard of Project Melody?
I have, but I wouldn't be able to tell you the specifics. I saw people in the chat talking about that earlier.
Kai said, Emma Watson is exceptionally pretty. She's my age. Well, thanks for that fun fact.
Emma Watson is still, I mean, but you would never have a chance with Emma Watson, not because you're not a great guy or could provide for her, but because she's self-paired. Remember, she
called herself that?
She called herself like in a relationship with herself. It was like somebody asked her a question in an interview, and instead of she's just coping.
You can't
super
just
hard.
say that you're single.
No, she's like, I'm in a relationship with myself. Like there was that lady, there was a lady, like a smoking hot lady who married herself and then divorced herself like 2 months later because she met someone.
So how is that even possible?
No clue. Wasn't in America.
Okay. Corey Anderson said, Phil, would you work with Tenacious D or Weird Al?
I mean, yeah.
Or Rucka Ali.
I don't, maybe. There's not like a lot of people that I'm like, no, I wouldn't work with. Like if you're a commie or a Nazi, no. Otherwise, probably.
It would be really cool to see somebody here get to work with Weird Al. He's such a legend.
I know Weird Al's his production manager and his tour manager, and she's a wonderful woman. And if I understand correctly, Weird Al is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy.
Woman.
Too.
You very
nice try.
You very rarely hear about anybody having anything bad to say about. This isn't that story, but here's another one. This was that one that says, "I can't take it anymore. Woman who married herself considers divorce after 24 hours." This is from March this year.
Can't take it anymore.
This is from March this year. I'm not even kidding you. I wonder why she married herself. Yeah, a woman who allegedly married herself has instigated divorce proceedings after spending just one day in her own company. Sophie Moret first announced the move back in February alongside photos of herself in a long white veil and gold tiara. That was literally what she was wearing, what Mia Khalifa was wearing. She had the tiara, she had the wedding dress on. It's an ode to narcissism, ladies and gentlemen. It's the world we live in today.
C-Chap said, Phil, any chance for you to do another country cover? The Thunder Rolls was about it.
I mean, I wouldn't put it off the table. I wouldn't say no. There is not a song that I'm in love with that I'm dying to cover, and I've been dying to cover, I had been dying to cover the Thunder Rolls since the 90s. Like
Who's
since it came out.
saying Ronnie Millsap saying "Stranger in My House"?
I don't know.
You could do that. That'd be good.
Gordon Shimway said, anytime you think of Ron Perlman trying to violently scare you, imagine him in his outfit in Ice Pirates. Look it up. You're welcome.
I mean, he wasn't really all that scary in Sons of Anarchy either, but he's just a really well-written role. He's just like all I see when I look at him is like a dude I would either just run from or just all you have to do is like push him this way, and he's old enough like he'll fall on his hip and be in rough shape.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson said J-Lo is just copying Elizabeth Taylor, even married the same guy twice.
Maybe that's what it was. She's in her Elizabeth Taylor era.
Marrying the same person twice.
Yeah.
It happens. I looked up like how often do previously divorced couples get back together, and it was in the single digits, but it was like 3%, 5%, something like that.
There was a time when I would have repaired my marriage, but once the divorce happened, like that's it. I'm not doing that again.
This is the one I was talking about. Woman who married herself is now divorcing herself after meeting someone else.
Had she never met anyone before?
A woman who made headlines earlier this year by marrying herself is now headed for divorce. Her name was Chris Galera. There
were two instances of this.
Yes, the 33.
What country can you marry yourself?
I don't know.
What country allows that?
The 33-year-old model
You get tax breaks?
I hope so. She wasn't disappointed not to have a groom and instead was embracing going it alone, but it wasn't meant to be. And 90 days later,
what is the point of wearing these? I'm sorry, slutty wedding dresses? You look like you're dressed in Fashion Nova.
Yeah, Fashion Nova wedding dresses.
It's not giving what it's supposed to give. I bet Fashion Nova does sell wedding dresses.
Isn't that like all porn stuff, right?
What do you mean?
Fashion Nova? Isn't it all like
Fashion Nova is just like a fast fashion brand.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was all.
But they're kind of like Bang Energy. They're really good at getting hot women to brand for them.
Fair enough.
Right? Like,
fair enough.
Have you ever seen the picture of the Bang Energy guy? He looks exactly like you imagine a guy who started a company named Bang Energy would look.
That has like the hottest chicks ever.
His hair is just like up, looks like he's actually like gets
he's
up
living
and puts
it
his
out.
head in a
He's
microwave.
living the part.
Yeah.
Their marketing department was the smartest thing. They got the hottest chicks at every car show.
Didn't they get like Barstool to support them?
Maybe.
But also
there's this
I think
Brazilian.
they even sponsored a Turning Point event. Yeah. Do you remember that? Am I making that up?
I think you're making that up.
No, I could have sworn that Bang Energy did sponsor a Turning Point USA.
The conservative women are hotter anyways.
They got like hot women to shoot Bang Energy T-shirts into the audience of this Turning Point event.
Michael Knowles
and
catches
nobody
the shirt
cared.
And doesn't know what to do with it. He's like, "What am I doing with this shirt?"
And they were like shooting actual dollar bills into the audience, and nobody was getting up to catch them.
Emma Watson says she's self-partnered. Here's what that means and why it's not a bad idea. From NBC today. It says when Emma Watson and Gwyneth Paltrow came out and used phrases like self-partnered and conscious uncoupling, it challenges the psychological implications and narratives behind the phrases being single and getting divorced.
Gwyneth Paltrow is also remarried now, by the way. Shane H. Wilder said, yes, because I'm really going to take advice from a corn star on marriage instead of following the CCC.
Color clarity? When you're buying a wedding ring?
It's the catechism of the Catholic Church.
Oh. Cut color clarity too.
This guy just loves the CCC and the PCC and the CCP.
Telling you.
Kai said, why does Mary look so pretty? Phil, I need a roar. Well, he gave it to you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Rhaegar Targaryen. Sorry, I already read that one. Grofty said buck, buck, buck. Hypothesis said Office Space over The Office. Mike Judge equals God.
Yeah, for me, but that's just because it's shorter. It's shorter and easier to consume. Office Space is a masterpiece.
I like The Office no matter how many times people will call me an NPC for liking The Office.
Did they say that to you?
Well, they say it's like what everyone on their Hinge profile says they like. Because you're supposed to. Tom Bombarder said, Socrates said, by all means, marry. If you find a good wife, you'll become happy. If you find a bad one, you'll become a philosopher.
Oh, perfect.
I thought he had a good marriage. He had kids, too.
You'll become a philosopher.
He was also pederast, but that's a different conversation. And
for another day.
Kai said, ow.
Okay, well, thank you, Kai.
What hurt you? Who hurt you?
Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you very much for that. Phil, let everyone know where they can find you.
I am Phil Labonte, the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Phil That Remains. I'm Phil That Remains official on the old Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can check us out on Apple Music, Spotify, what's the other one? Pandora, YouTube, you know. We got a big one.
All the places. Yeah, Mary, one more from two more from High Voltage 75.
Party Time, showing my thanks for a year of entertainment. PCC started listening last August around the time of Mary's cart confession and enjoyed watching the channel grow and evolve over the course of the year. Here's to more good times in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yes, Mary, have you changed your views on cart corralling?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No, I will never change. And Kai said, I demand a growl, not a grr.
A growl, not a grr.
I feel like what he did was
that is
definitely a growl.
That is a growl.
I'm not the expert, but
that definitely is a growl.
All right. Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, and you can send me hate on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. That is also Mary Archived.
Should we just sit here in silence until the
I
crisis
really got to
party?
take a leak.
Go ahead. Go ahead, my bro. Go ahead, bro. That's cool.
Okay. Bye, Phil.
Do we just sit here until it goes to crisis party?
Maybe we should sit here until Phil comes back.
Until Phil comes back upstairs. I have
anything you want to get off your chest right now that you've been thinking about? Any hot takes?
I've got, you know me. I don't ever have hot takes. There's one there from Shane H. Wilder.
CCP? Nah, I'm good.
See, I was
sorry
thinking,
I said that. Just PCC and the CCC.
One time we were talking about, like, I would like to, at a certain point, transition this show away from the name Pop Culture Crisis, because I think PCC is just simpler to say, right? And I think it pigeonholes you when people think of pop culture. People complain all the time because they define pop culture differently, right? And I was thinking about it more.
I think that's a terrible idea.
But I would... Thank you. I'll tell you why, though. Why it's like at least my counter argument.
It's party time.
There it is. There's some lag there. My argument to the contrary is like, look, does anybody know what TMZ stands for? Because I don't. Does it stand for anything?
Whoa. I never even thought about that.
It doesn't stand for. I mean, if it does stand for something, I don't know.
Let me look this up.
But I would argue that the average person doesn't know what it stands for, right? Like, I don't know.
Let me look it up. TMZ 30-mile zone. It stands for 30-mile zone, which refers to the historic studio zone within a 30-mile radius in Los Angeles, California.
But we don't know that.
I was today years old when I found that out. It originated in the 1960s when studios established a 30-mile zone to monitor rules for filming in Hollywood. The center of the zone was the AMPTP. Interesting.
Andrina in the chat knew what it was. Bash knew what it was. Several people in the chat knew what it was. Thank you guys for that. But I didn't know that. So I just figured, like, if it needed a shortening at a certain point, because certain people have pigeonholed their idea of what it is, I just thought that's something that could happen. So, all right.
No.
Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button again? Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Share these live streams and the segments with your friends. Please, we want to get this show out there so that we can argue about whether it's PCC or Pop Culture Crisis. Guys, if you want to follow me, Instagram and Twitter, at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Yes, I know Twitter is now X. I don't care. I will call it one or the other. I refuse to be pigeonholed into either name. This show is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. Mary, there's one more right there.
From Tony R. I've been here since day one, since it was cringe to binge. Love y'all. Shout out 10th Planet, Jiu-Jitsu, and Street Beefs.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, and if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twitter at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Later. personally, I think Mia Khalifa gives great marriage advice. I heard porn stars never have headaches.